Good evening, everybody. Welcome to another Autoholics Anonymous. We've been working on the cars all day and are now lovely and toasty warm inside because...
I'm still cold.
Are you still cold?
Yeah.
Wow.
I spent 20 minutes under a heated blanket, and all of me was warm except my feet, which were so cold they've now cooled the rest of me down.
Brilliant. That's completely and utterly useless.
Yep.
Yeah, it's... unfortunately, we've had a lot of just standing around thinking today, as happens an awful lot, but more so today, because there was really only room for one of us to really do anything. Like, there was only one brain operation at a time.
At any given time, it was like either I was welding, or you were cleaning up welds, or I was in the wheel well figuring out like what brake fittings and stuff we needed. It's been one of those sorts of days.
Yeah, pretty much. It's been this and this. There's no parallel running today whatsoever. It's person to person to person to person. That's your lot. So yes. So we are here now in the, as I say, lovely warmth inside. I think it's not as bad as last time you were over.
No, granted.
Last time you were over, I mean, this is a very English stream at this point. We're talking about the weather. It's been a minute in, and we're like, oh, weather outside. Yeah, and cats, because Spinks is now trundling it. You can't have tea.
Well, Loki's gone, so we've had to replace him.
You can't have tea.
He probably can.
He probably can, and he will try. He just doesn't know where I put the treats, that's the thing. He's now just scouring around. But yeah, so last time it was all of about 4 degrees. On the warmest it got across the whole weekend was about 4 degrees.
Yeah.
And on the Saturday before the stream, it peaked -1. And it was awful. We did nothing outside. But yeah, then we warmed up.
But to be fair, we did sit inside the garage with a heater pointed at our toes.
And they still froze. Yeah. I still couldn't feel my toes. And in the
miserable.
20 minutes it took us to tidy up, my other foot froze as well.
But yeah, so
today's been
way better by comparison.
So pleasant. Delightful.
We've rehung the exhaust.
Yes.
We've tested a new gear shifter surround.
Yes, which is down here because I'm going to try and add some extra bits to it, assuming I managed to get through doing the heater bracket. Yeah. But we'll go through that, because that was one of the teaser things on social media was, hey, look, I'm going to do a thing.
I was stuck for ages trying to remember what the other thing... We can't have just done 2 things. We fixed a fourth thing.
We finished doing the grill from an episode we filmed when you were on the Sunday when you were back over, where we tried not to melt the thing into the ground by welding metal this close to plastic. Yeah, and we finally figured out how to build our front brake hoses, which we've only been labouring over for about 4 years, maybe a bit longer. I'm going to go better. Yeah. There's a 5th. Wow. We almost finished the towing eye. Oh, yeah? Well, to be fair, you almost finished the towing eye. I didn't. Until I threw it across the driveway accidentally when I was trying to douse it and then dry it off in the water, because it was warm and I was holding it and it was unpleasant. And then I threw it and I couldn't find it for 10 minutes. And at that point it was dark and I went, nope, I think I'm done for the day. Hi, David. I did find it. Welcome back to the stream. My wave and my hi were very disconnected there. I didn't expect Abe to carry on for quite as long as he did. I should know better by now, really. I can waffle. I believe it's called vamping in the US talk shows. Just vamp for a while. Yeah, okay. Why vamping? I have no idea. Tangent counter. Yeah. Damn it. Okay. So yes, it was actually on topic. If anything, the tangent counter was off topic. Granted. Yeah. So we've achieved an awful lot. Admittedly, a great deal of it was finishing up from last time because it was cold. Yeah. But catching up. That's fine. Yeah, we managed to get through a bunch of things. Which was oh no, I need chat. Oh no, I put the sticker on wrong. Wait, did you? Yeah, it's on an angle. Oh, admittedly, fine. I kind of slapped it on, but that was about as far as I got. It does what it needs to do, which is it definitely doesn't need to cover up anything from a hypothetical job. It only has to represent the channel. That's absolutely, all that for. That is the only thing. So yes, we managed to get a bunch of stuff done, and we still have a whole like a day to go. It's kind of weird. Yeah. We could achieve nothing tomorrow and still have done better than last time. The thing I find quite funny, and I'm not sure how much this comes out in the episode. We talk a lot about like kicking cans down the road, and today I mean, not exclusively, but today we've dealt with a few cans that we've been kicking down the road for a while. Like those brake hoses are something that we've faffed about with, trying to go, okay, well, like what fittings have we got? What hose have we got? What joiners have we got? All this like rubbish. I opted to make use of something we had in a box, which was the brake hoses from Aidborn, who's just joined chat. from his GTO spares box, and these are perfect. They're the right length. They just have banjo bolts on both ends, and I confidently said, we'll just get a bulkhead fitting with a female end that we can put the banjo bolt in, and it will be perfect. And they don't exist. So I am not about to get some custom made.
For a bit of context here, these are the brake hoses that run from the calipers to the body of the car. One end is perfect. It's a 10mm banjo bolt. So we've got a brake caliper on the disc, on the hub. And the banjo bolt fitting that's on these hoses that we got from the GTO fits absolutely perfectly on the caliper. Awesome. The other end is also a banjo fitting. And we were, as Aid said, we were like confident that we could just get a bulkhead fitting to go through the metal plate into the interior of the car, where obviously the brake lines are coming through the body. We thought we could get a bulkhead fitting that just clamps onto the body and has a banjo bolt receiver on it. Turns out we were extremely wrong, couldn't find one anywhere, but for some reason we held on to this dream for months and months and months, and that's on top of already having waited ages.
Yes.
Just to even get these hoses. It's just the goofiest thing. But to use this one thing, we're gonna faff about endlessly trying to find a way to put it to use.
Yes, I will be building the engine on the Mark II Golf this year. And do the other thing. We choose to build the Mark II Golf better again, not because it is easy, but because I miss driving that damn thing.
I miss I've only ever been in that car running once, and it was the day you blew the engine up. Just after we got it back on the road, and I was with you when we were going for the MOT, and disaster. But yeah, so we've been faffing for ages with these brake hoses, and we finally today said, look, fuck it. Why don't we just get custom brake hoses made?
Yes.
We've proposed it before.
Please, yeah. We were originally going to do that. We were going to get somebody to make up just the custom hose, because I've built stainless steel hoses before.
I don't want to do it again. No.
And I hate it. It's miserable. You end up stabbing your fingers. Been there, done that. Vehemently dislike it. Hope to never have to do it again, but will if I really, 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 really have to.
Yeah. But ages ago, absolutely, it must have been years and years ago, I found a company called Venhill, and they sell, you can get a flexi braided brake line in any length, but the brake line itself is not terminated with a particular, a banjo fitting or a hose fitting or whatever. They've got a generic threaded end insert, and basically you can order one from these guys with anything you want in both ends of the hose.
They have a line builder.
Yeah, you can literally just a little configurator on this site. I love this.
It's just, here is the length. How long would you like the length of the hose? And then you choose left fitting, middle bits, right fitting, done.
Yeah. And
amazing.
And we basically decided not to do this because we were like, oh well, we've got some hoses and we've got some fittings and we can make do. And then multiple years later, we realised that obviously we couldn't. So yeah, we finally decided to go down this road. And yeah, so a chunk of today was just trying to plan out the route for the brake hoses properly.
Yes.
Because at the minute we don't actually know really. We've got some hunches, but we don't really know how the wheel is going to move in the arch. Obviously, we know how it's going to behave under lock, but we're not fully sure of when we're going through compression. Something like Foxhole, for example, is the extreme
big
example.
Compressions.
Yeah, where is the wheel going to end up? So we're being quite conservative with how we try to lay things out, and making. And there's a bunch of other really we've shot ourselves in the foot in a few ways. Stuff like attaching to the upper A arm, the joint where the hub kind of fits onto the end of the A-arm is quite close, so we've got to be careful with how we attach the hose there so it doesn't get pinched. There's a bunch of really goofy little bits of bullshit.
Yeah. And we've had these ones that came out of the GTO spares box, which were exactly the right length.
Yeah.
Assuming we did
for a particular route.
For a particular route, yeah, which is fine. But they had the banjo fitting both ends. We need a banjo fitting for the caliper end, and then something else. And we thought, well, as I say, we'll just get a female one, put a bolt in, absolutely perfect. They don't exist.
Yeah.
They do kind of, to an extent, as you can put a female fitting on the end of the line that a banjo bolt will go into.
Yeah, but then you're stacks and stacks and stacks of adapters.
Yes, so it's not the best way to do it.
Yeah.
I really wanted to use a bulkhead fitting because that should be the better way to do it and not just having a line flapping around.
Yeah, I mean, it just helps constrain everything.
Yeah, and they don't exist. So this also was catalyzed by crushing one of the brake pipes. If you remember,
oh, yeah.
we had a brake pipe that on the driver's side, and at some point or other, it got pinched between the car being lifted up and something.
Yeah, we think the floor.
Inside, yeah, we think the
we
floor
think we managed to
basically...
get the brake line underneath the floor, underneath like the frame of the car somehow, between it and the
No
plywood.
idea how. Hi, Loki.
Because we're really, really smart.
Yeah, but one way or another, that one was written off. So we went, well, we'll take that off and we'll just make up a new one. And the question of, well, if we were going to change it, this would be the time to do it. And a load of options appeared. And as a result, we didn't do anything. Oh, really? That's...
Yeah, the camera's probably on 50 hertz.
But that should be 50 hertz.
No, that'll be 60 hertz. It's coming off a PC. It'll be powered at 50 hertz.
It'll be 50 hertz.
Oh, it'd be 50.
Depends what the TV itself is refreshing at.
True, but its input signal should be 50 hertz.
True, but the input signal will be 50 because it's coming out of the Atom, not the PC. The PC's going through the Atom.
But that doesn't necessarily mean the LCD is refreshing at 50.
Yes. Yeah. It didn't do it before. Interestingly,
I'm not seeing it on mine.
To be fair,
I'm not
seeing it. I am seeing the reflection of those bulbs, however, so I am going to... that's a good point. The blue light isn't on. Chris, vamp a minute.
Oh, God. No, I can't vamp. Only you can vamp. Vamping is like Aid's special skill.
I'm going to have to run in front of the camera.
That's fine.
And then run in front of it a second time. Hi, Loki.
You're still on audio, right? People can just hear
I
you
know.
chatting your rubbish.
We're doing 1080p 50, so...
Oh, I forgot we've got the colour
We've got,
up on the roof, yeah.
Yeah, there's definitely something weird happening with refresh. I can see it on the
We're good
preview.
at tech. We've totally done
that's
this before.
my knee.
Is it because of it being a white background?
I mean, yeah, I can just switch it back
maybe.
to...
I'd be surprised.
Oh, I can just
Oh, actually, no.
yeah, no,
now
I
I
can-
can
now
see
I
the
can
flickering
see
on
it.
the TV.
Yeah.
It wasn't
Oh,
there
that's
a
weird.
minute ago.
Yeah. What is tech? I don't know what tech is.
Me neither.
So apparently that's made it worse. But these are all DC, right?
Yes.
Yeah, but it'll still be PWM, surely.
PWM, but probably at like kilohertz.
No.
Sorry, now we're getting into like electrical.
These are fluorescent bulbs. They're
Okay.
energy savers, so they're tubes.
Ooh.
They're not LEDs. That's an LED.
Doesn't necessarily mean it won't be DC. But,
There's a point at which I might have to grab the wireless cam and just show people what I'm actually looking at from
yeah,
here. Just
possibly.
Oh, the tangent counter should probably go up.
Yeah.
See, if I switch it to black, it's...
Actually, do we get marked with a tangent demerit if someone else
No, probably
sends
not.
onto
No,
it?
that's probably
I generally only
fine.
do it when you're trying to wrap up the stream.
Oh, fair
Yeah,
enough.
'cause I wanna go home.
that's where we usually get tangent heavy. So yes, Emma's claiming response. Yeah, hi Emma, thank you.
All right.
So yes, so we've
Car progress.
We've basically been going through fixing a load of brake line problems for months and months and months, and holding up these brake lines and going, yeah, that'll work. It'll be fine. We'll just find something.
But we'd never actually bothered with
Yeah.
the final part of actually finding something.
Yes.
We kept looking at it and kept going, yeah, this will be fine. And then, but like for some reason, never taking that final step. And in fairness, this is like a recurring thing.
I'll blame that partly on myself because I always went, there's got to be a female banjo bulkhead or a female fitting on a bulkhead. I'm sure I can just find one somewhere if I look hard enough. And I've spent a couple of hours looking after the fact, and they just don't exist.
And I think last night I sat down and I said, look, Aid,
this thing exists.
We've got
And I went,
well, I had to
"That's
remind you it exists because we were trying to work out, okay, like, is it finally time for us to just get custom lines made?
Yeah.
And somewhere in the dusty annals of my brain cell, I remembered, hang on, years ago I found this company. I can't remember what they were called, and I ended up like scrolling through eBay to try and find them. And yeah.
Ironically,
clip it to the
Marbobs,
bulkhead.
that is exactly the reason that we've not started the engine, is because I vehemently want the brakes to work before I put power to anything.
That's right, as long as you've got neutral, you can just stick your feet through the floor and stop it.
Yes. Yeah, Maffey's also not wrong. How are we possibly going to stop a car?
Yeah.
Yes, we have P-clipped it previously up where the last fitting was. It basically went, this is very sort of abstract, but basically went up and around and came to a vertical line at the end of the chassis.
A little vague, if I'm totally honest.
And then the hose was going to go onto the end of it, which is fine, but It always flopped around a bit. It was never really.
Oh, remember? Yeah, we've got a hard line running up.
Yeah, there was
had
a hard line running up and going down.
But this is inside the body. This is like the chassis.
And we we got to the point of, oh, if we're going to put a splash guard there, how do we get the line through? Oh, well, we flattened one, so let's just ignore the problem because we're going to have to remake them. So we might as well remake them both. And that can was not just kicked down the road.
You can hear the ADHD in the way we explain stuff. It's horrible.
That can wasn't only kicked down the road, it was launched down the road. Which is fine, but yeah, basically what Lucas says there, that's exactly how it goes, which is fine, but I have different opinions. So yeah, it was something of a problem. But now we're biting the bullet. If I could just have the Ven Hill one back up again.
Sure.
Like to point out, not sponsored by Ven Hill, found them. I
would like to be sponsored by Ven Hill.
I found them yesterday, and as much that Chris showed it to me, and apparently my brain just blocked it out going, absolutely not. So the way this works, you pick the hose length and you go, I want, what we need is a banjo on one end, which is unfortunately in...
10mm. No, it's the adapter you have to go to the wrong category.
So it's a 10mm, nope.
There's a straight
there is
one in there somewhere.
20-degree side bend?
Actually,
side bend. Yes, 20-degree side bend is what we worked out we needed.
Yes, it's actually just a 20-degree boundary. So there's the 20 degrees up and 20 degrees right, which isn't what we want. Down like two more. That one.
That one, yes, that's right. And then we want the Ven Hill sleeve on it.
Pick a colour, pick a length.
Black.
Pick support materials, blah, 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 blah. You got to pick a length, mate.
Oh, yeah, I do.
550, I think we're going for.
Yep. Welcome
Ordering brake parts with PedalBox.
Yes, well, pretty much. Grommets, I'd like 2 grommets on because we found many places to attach them. And then I want the adapter on this end.
Yes, you have to go on 7/8 because it's filed wrong.
Yeah, we need 3/8 UNF, but for some reason the 3/8 UNF female concave adapter is in the 7/16 UNF.
Obviously, perfectly sensible place to put it.
That's the hose that we need to make. And
or have made.
Yeah, and it's 38 quid. So we're just going to get 2 of those, and thanks once again to our patrons for giving us the money to make this problem go away by throwing money at somebody else.
They're not giving us the money. This is mutual aid. They give us money, we give them content.
I need to choose.
Everyone wins.
Aid wants Mountain Dew Green.
Oh God!
For the hose. I mean, it's there.
How much is Aidborn kicked into the Patreon?
I don't know.
Would that be a GDPR violation if we said? If it's enough, I'd consider it.
Yeah,
that's how you bribe us to make terrible decisions. Donate enough money and we'll do stupid shit in your name.
Aid, if you become a top tier member, we will put these.
Aid is already a top tier member. It's whether he's a top tier contributor to the channel.
I supply services. Yeah, that's reasonable.
That's true.
So yeah, that's basically what we need to make.
And we could have done this years ago.
Honestly, I didn't know. I say I didn't.
You definitely knew. I've definitely told you about this before because I explicitly remembered this very builder. Not by name. It took me a while to like dig it back out of the brain cell, but. Finally solving a problem.
We've done that. We need to order the parts, which will be tonight's problem after the stream, and there's a bunch of other parts we need to order because the biggest elephant in the room, aside from the ECU, which is a kind of solved problem at the moment, is the power steering rack.
Yeah.
Because the power steering rack still has the ports for the power steering fluid in and out from the pump.
If there was this, but they would put 16mm banjos on the end,
we'd be
fine. Sorted.
Yeah.
To be fair, that's probably not true because the flow rate probably wouldn't be high enough.
Yeah, with applicable pipes. It would be absolutely perfect. But the hoses are barely offset next to one another, and unless we were to get a block machined as it's a manifold between the two, which we could.
We could.
If we take accurate enough measurements, but I really don't want to do that. I don't want to break the mill out for that because my mill is not set up accurately enough to do anything like that. So we'd have to take really, really super accurate measurements, and I don't trust myself to waste somebody else's time, if they were so kind as to donate it, to have to make this more than once, twice, 3 times a lady.
Matthew said that sounded like bribery, but with fewer steps. I'm like, it's not like bribery. It just is.
It is bribery. Yeah, it's just straight up bribery. You can make.
We don't euphemize here.
You can make us put silly colour things on the car. If you force me with money.
I should clarify, I will not accept for any amount of money not putting brakes on the car.
I said we could put silly things on the car, not ignore things that are silly. But yes, so that is now a largely solved problem, which is great. The manifold, well, it's not
like
really
so many parts of the car. We simply know what we have to do. Now all we have to do is do it.
Oh dear. That's a critical failure. So we have plans on that. For those of you who joined in the last 10 minutes or so, we were basically going through a bunch of the work we managed to get done today and comparing it to last time we did a stream, where we went outside, God, it's cold.
Froze our knackers off for a day
absolutely nothing. Did a quick Q&A, which will be coming in episode 170, so not the one that should have just gone out. I'll come back to that in a minute. But the one after that, so 2 weeks' time, that should be there. And then we did work on the Sunday, and we didn't finish it all because we tried to make the new grill panel, and we melted various parts of the grill, which wasn't ideal.
We continue to be very clever.
Yeah, and today we discovered that you actually can, if you're really, really careful, pop the grill out of the frame.
Mesh out of the frame.
Yeah, and then not melt it. So we popped it out, did that, repainted it all, got rid of all of the rust. So it's looking much better. And again, that will be coming up in, I guess, episode 171 or 2? Yeah, 171, I think. If my editing works properly. There is a bunch of road trips and other things that I need to put in, so it might not be 2
weeks. Are they all road
weeks.
Trips from like 2023?
A lot of them are, yeah.
We're good at this.
Yeah, there's quite
a
few from 2023. The Irwindale one that I wanted to get out in December is going great guns, as you can tell, with it being February and it not being out yet. Yeah. But yes, that's...
Actually, I just noticed something very, very strange.
That is the state of the day so far.
Very odd. Acorn's with us from the start of the stream.
Yes,
he's joined like an hour and a half in.
Not catching up at double speed, powering through. And yes, sorry, I'm going to actually have to catch up on chat now. Yes, apparently I'm not allowed to drive without life insurance. That's known. Oh, there wasn't actually as much chat as I thought there was.
No. I mean, to be fair, I've been keeping us relatively up to date on it, so
yeah,
I think we're good.
Okay, gold body race car. I have photographs of a gold body race car, which I can dig up.
This one.
This feels a lot like a tangent, however.
Yeah.
Sounds like I'm revving my mouse.
It's very fitting. Like, it's on brand. It's probably not coming through the microphones.
No, probably not.
Just like hold it up and.
It is.
Oh, is it actually?
In fact, let's turn on more microphones.
Right, let's get all the way down. God, there was a lot of pit photographs.
Are you scrolling through a whole bunch?
Yes, I was. I should have just moved to the month that I wanted and got on with it.
Just on a very, very small side note, while you dig, I did notice we got a comment earlier from Lucas. I'm trying to work out if that's a Lucas you know or if it's a Lucas I know, because I've actually, for once, I've posted the stream link in some Discords.
Good lord.
It's very strange.
Whoa.
I don't tend to do any marketing. So yeah, if this is Thunk Lucas, hello. Now you get to see that I suck at cars as well as at programming. You still digging?
Nope, found it.
Hey! It's cool, I don't have to make
And then I had to rotate it, and then it got angry at me.
Okay, I mean, it's partly gold.
Oh, that one.
That is a genuine 427 Cobra from the factory way back when. That's race spec. The fella at the back there, standing just behind it, that's the guy that owns it.
Nice.
And he brings it to a car show every single week in, week out.
Jesus.
And there was a guy. It was painted blue at one time, which you can see on the arches at the back. But the blue paint was put on so badly as it's been driven, the blue is just leaving its way behind. Oh, it gets better, Maffey. He bought that for $800,000.
Oh,
as a legit AC 427 AC Supersport.
Yeah.
It is currently worth something like 1.5 to 2.
Absolutely deranged.
It is one of 2 gold that ever left the factory. And there was a dude who was there when we saw it this time, who was like, "Oh, I'd do it up and make it really nice, and then it'd be worth more." And he turned around to the guy. It's the biggest flex in the world that I've ever seen.
Yeah.
He turned around and he said, "If I wanted to sell one for more, I'd sell one of my other ones."
Yeah.
He was great.
Because this is like his 3rd, and they're all original.
People hoarding 3 of them is why they're worth $1.5 million.
The most expensive one that he had, I think, was like three and a bit mil, and it was mint. Though it was fully restored, absolutely fresh out of the factory, effectively as it stood. But it was just the guy like, no, I'd want to make as much money as I could possibly. He was like, I drive it. I drive it round, I take it out, I take it places, I take it to shows. I actually use this one because it's imperfect.
It's worthless at costing him a mere 800 frigging grand.
It was the guy just kind of stood there and went, "Oh, okay." Like,
I mean, he's still not wrong. Like, it still wouldn't be stupid to tart it up and...
No, but I think you'd probably lose more of its value, more of its uniqueness.
If you made it unoriginal.
If you made it unoriginal, because it's one
careful.
of 2 that left the factory in that colour. And apparently the other one that's gold either is no longer gold or is like locked up in a collection or museum or something somewhere, so it never sees the light of day. But yeah, he just drives that around LA. I
mean, to be fair, you can paint it any colour you want, as long as you do it so badly that the paint all falls off.
Yes, exactly, and this is it. The more
it'll go back to being worth $1.5 million, not long after.
By driving it around and enjoying it,
he's making it worth
he's
more
improving the value by shedding the blue paint off it, which is just...
The word is patina.
It's great, yeah, the patina is particularly good. But I enjoy the fact that someone's like, don't care.
Yeah.
I'd rather take it places, share it with people, do stuff like... That's my favourite type of collector of cars.
Yeah, if you're gonna have like obscene amounts of money, and particularly obscene amounts of money's worth of cars, at least use them. Like,
use them, enjoy them, have fun with them.
Yeah, I think it's an absolute tragedy whenever I see a car. Okay, fine, it's not my car, I don't get to judge, whatever. But I do think it's a tragedy when I see a really like rare or interesting, or like, especially in the case of something like this, which is not only rare and interesting, it's also actually like purpose built to be a race car.
Yes.
It was not built to go on a plinth.
Yes.
Like, this is an actual serious piece of machinery with a purpose.
Yeah.
And when I see stuff like sat in dry storage forever.
Yeah.
Or, you get the occasional folks who, they're very, very rare. So, like, I'm not, like, insulting a large number of people here. I'm insulting a small number of
We're not going to lose any viewers.
No. But, like, the folks who, like, put their Ferrari Dino in their lounge.
Yes.
And I may have, like, reached into Ferris Bueller for that one. But
that was in a garage.
Was it in a garage?
It was a garage. It just happened to be it happened to be a very fancy glass-walled garage.
Right, okay.
But it was a garage with a driveway access to do stuff with it. So, like...
you could definitely get a weekly shop in a Cobra. There is an actual boot in there.
Yeah, it's got a... I mean, that one less so, because there's a big fuel tank in there.
Oh, fair enough.
It has a boot. Unfortunately, most of what you're shopping for is fuel.
Yeah, granted. It'll pass anything but a petrol station, I think, is the old
pretty
joke.
much. All right, I'm just going to find this again, because... Oh, sorry, I just screwed you there. Because I have, obviously, many more pictures of this,
engine.
which... rotate left. Yes, I know. It is good.
It's quite. I do love that I can see the sort of ancestry between that and the engine in your T-Bird.
Yeah, I mean that is the bigger version of it. Like the 427, 428 it's an FE at its heart. So this is. It was in the top 10 paddock finds at the 2012 Rolex Monterey Motorsports Reunion.
That's a mouthful.
Yeah,
say that 10 times fast.
Absolutely not. It is a 1965 Shelby Cobra 427 SC. Let me just read through this.
Need the countdown theme.
Yeah, should do.
No, that's not the piece of paper that I thought it was. And I don't have a picture of the one on the other... Oh, no, I do have a picture of the one on the other side.
I assume we're doing a video of this at some point.
When you go back over, yeah, at some point. I need to do that.
It is very good at getting the phone numbers of people who own fancy cars.
Yes, I've had my moments. But yeah, this was at Bob's Big Boy. So if you've seen Austin Powers, you've seen when Dr. Evil escapes in the thing in the rocket, holding the burger in the red wine. That's a Big Boy.
Yeah.
So that's Bob's Big Boy. That's the mascot of this diner, and they do a car show every Friday night till I think it's from 4 p.m. in the afternoon till they close, like 10 or 11 o'clock at night.
For a moment there, right, I was on the verge of saying only in America can you have a cafe that has a car show every Friday, and then I remembered Ace Cafe that has a car show not every night because sometimes it has bike shows.
Yes. Hi, Binks.
Or Caffeine and Machine, which is basically a continuous car show. It's not even every night; it's just all the time.
Oh no!
He
found where I hid
the
treats.
mother load.
Yes, he has unfortunately found where I hid the treats.
Well, he recognises that sound.
He's like
he sees your one treat that you're trying to. Oh no, he went.
There's one, but more. So yes, that's saying gold cars. As I say, I thought I'd just throw that out. I think that was a genuine tangent.
Actually, quite fitting. Many years ago, so in the PedalBox Discord server, we've got a bunch of like secret channels that Adrian and I use for like keeping track of stuff around the cars and things like that.
Admin.
Yeah, basically. One of them is a Stream Notes channel.
Yes.
And one of the last things in there was posted like 3 years. We don't use it very much. Was posted about 3 years ago, and it was another gold car.
Yes, it was
the worst gold car ever put to steel.
I disagree.
Actually, I'm not sure if it was gold. It may have been orange.
It's the one. I actually don't mind the lines on that because I've seen some horror
There are some
shows.
much worse estate conversions.
There are some much worse SD1 estate conversions.
I'll grant.
But yes, that is the one, I think, if I bring a picture up of it, that is the one that's currently in the British Motor Museum.
Okay, yeah, I've got another picture of it because Mallory was at the British Motor Museum fairly recently and sent me a photo. It's really more of like a, I don't know, kind of champagne-y, bronzy, goldy. It's like a paler version of my Mark 1's paint.
Yeah, but this...
It's not as mustardy as that one looks, I'll grant.
This one...
What have we got now?
This, in my opinion, is the worst conversion. With just the wedge that's put in above the door.
Yeah, because they didn't want to. They couldn't be bothered making new doors.
This is flat across the top with the original door.
Yeah.
And obviously this kind of scoops up, but it levels off and goes around.
Yeah, they've at least managed to sort of keep the lines moving properly.
This one just kind of sweeps up, but then they put a square window in the back, so they had to put a triangle in there to fill it in the gap.
Yeah.
And I don't think it worked.
No, I don't think
it worked at all.
The gold one is a lot better than that, to be fair.
I do wonder if this door possibly came from a Volvo, and it was like us. We found a door that works.
Yeah, this is the door that we had lying around at the back of the garage, and
But yeah, there's when I find my mouse again.
In the SD1's defence, I don't think it was a poop or vomit brown. As much as I'm not a massive fan of the colour, it's definitely more of a bronze.
It's a goldy bronze. I mean, I've got a good picture of the one.
There was a factory one. I'm not sure which one is the factory. I think the gold one is the factory one. I think the red one was a conversion.
That's the factory legit.
Yeah.
Build for it, but you can see the difference between the tailgates.
Yeah.
From this one to this one, that's pretty much flat at the back.
Yeah.
With a handle at the bottom down here, which is why I think it's off something else. And then this one, the latch is in the centre, and it's kind of curved round to the back, and it's an overall nicer put together thing.
Yeah.
But as I say, with the kind of the old duck bill up the back, excuse the resolution of this.
Yeah. Y'all got any more of them pixels?
You can see the whole thing just kicks up, and it's a dead straight line across there. I'm not a fan of.
The thing is, like, if you block out half of it and you just look at the front of it, and obviously you don't see the estate conversion.
Yes.
The back of it is not what you expect at all.
No.
Whereas, like most estate cars, you can kind of picture an estate at the back.
It reminds me of a hearse.
Yeah,
pretty much. Like that.
Yeah, it's slightly sort of too tall or something in the back of it. There's a certain kind of offness about the red one.
Yeah.
Not a huge fan of the factory gold one either, if I'm totally honest. But
yeah. I like an estate. I like an estate conversion to some degree. So yeah, it's that's my cross to bear. But yeah, so
Matthew's like, I love estates. I love SD1s. I hate that.
oh yeah, the red one. I hate the red one.
Yeah.
I just, that line in the roof would drive me insane, and I would probably. Oh.
What happened?
Binks knocked the bag over and is just feasting on everything that poured out, because apparently I didn't quite seal it well enough.
Oops.
He's like,
oops. Oh no, I didn't seal the bag of treats well enough.
Oh, terrible. I will fix that problem where they all spilled across the floor.
We've just got a ... off fix. I think you're being judged from upstairs.
Fatal? No. It was a very much Binks appreciated error, I'll tell you that.
And you knew he'd steal the treats somehow.
Yeah, pretty much. You're just listening. You're just trying to smell for the crumbs now. Yeah, he's picking up all the. I mean, on the other hand, he's hoovering up the crumbs. So good. Cleaning up his own mess.
I've been drinking my tea too quickly. I've got hiccups now.
So one of the things I alluded to in the post that I put on social media was some of the CAD things that we've been doing recently as well.
Many CAD, lots of 3D printing, and of course you can't do that without.
A few episodes back, we crossed a whole bunch of things off. One of which was the air filter. Well, the air filter bracket. Which
did we do anything with the air filter in that episode, or did I just notice
that
it was...
we just put this on.
We installed it. Yeah,
we actually bothered to install this on the car. Obviously, we have the other one that is chirally opposite.
I do love that we printed that thing, like...
It was perfect.
Ages
it was
and ages and
absolutely
ages
flawless, but 180 degrees out, and that was really annoying. And then we put this on, and promptly broke it.
Yeah.
So yeah, that didn't work. So we need to remake it. So hopefully, I'm going to try and redesign this
so that it doesn't suck.
So that it's not terrible. The downside, of course, is that there's no way I'm going to be able to redesign it like this. So you're probably not going to see a great deal of it.
Oh, you can always like clone the screen, right?
But I have got the old old file.
Which cameras have we got that'll do a close-up, if any? Ooh, excellent.
Yeah,
that's fine.
Now, in my defence of the terribleness of this part's design, which has multiple failure points all over it, you can't have more. Damn it!
There may have been some bad design decisions going on in the sort of shape of this thing.
Yes.
This is not a feature that you want in a part that's going to be taking loads, kind of that's going to be suspending this bit from this bit, like this big sort of crevasse down the centre there, completely disconnected with no sort of supporting span. Really not very good.
Now, much of the reason why this is an absolutely terribly designed part is because I didn't know what I was doing, and I kludged this whole design together just to get something that worked.
Yeah.
And to try and get better at CAD.
On the bright side, it failed exactly where we thought it would fail.
Yes, it failed in a known location, which if it had failed in any other location, I would have been slightly more upset.
Cool.
Oh, I haven't updated this.
Can I pass this back?
Unfortunately, my version of FreeCAD on here is 20.
So it should open the file, surely.
Oh, it's opened the file because I designed it in 20. That's fine.
Right, okay.
The problem is...
Oh, now all the widgets have moved because you haven't...
Yes,
yeah.
I've been using version 1 for a good few weeks now, and I'm now used to that whole layout.
I love FreeCAD, and I understand that it's open source software, it's trying to improve over time, so things are going to move as they attempt to optimize it.
Just over my left shoulder is where I'm keeping the treats.
Oh yeah, they're hidden around the side, yeah. But yeah, it is a little bit frustrating. It seems every time you update FreeCAD to get genuinely cool new features and bug fixes and stuff, all of your stuff moves.
Yeah. Yeah, and now, because they've changed the interface, every guide, every tutorial video, even the documentation on the FreeCAD website is all completely irrelevant. Because all of the interface has been changed, so nothing is where it was 100%.
Yeah.
Some of it is in the same place, and that's fine.
Yeah. And the particular reason this is a problem is because you are now used to FreeCAD V1. They finally released.
Yeah.
But on his laptop has a pre-release version 0.20.
I still have an alpha. Oh,
yeah.
Okay.
So now installing FreeCAD with PedalBox.
No.
You are just going to make it work on 20, yeah?
I'm just going to make it work.
Okay.
I'm going to...
I don't know if you heard that, but it sounds like Binks is trying to demolish the studio.
Binks has just gone behind the wall. Well, behind that wall. If he goes behind that wall,
he's
it's
fine.
a much bigger problem.
Yeah, he's just romping around on some boxes. We're good.
Yep, standard. Never mind. So yes, so I now need to remember what a lot of measurements are.
I mean, the main one really is you just need like the angle difference between the two tubes, which I don't know if we still have, but we can probably measure off of this.
Well, that was one of the main reasons that I brought this file down with me.
Yeah, because I'm starting to wonder if the correct thing to do is you start with the big. If you start with 2 large cubes of material. Ooh, excuse me. Sorry, I'm half thinking about words and half thinking about disassembling the thing that's currently in front of me.
Smooth.
And failing at both as a result. But yeah, you start with modelling the 2 tubes separately. You do that just by extruding a circle along a line.
Yes.
And one line you can just make the y-axis.
Yep.
And one line you just tip it over.
Yep.
Which
is pretty much how I did that one.
Yeah. And then once you're done, I think you can. Ooh, how would you?
See?
How would you span the two? Have we got any CAD people in? I need to get Josh from Thunk in. He's an actual engineer.
Oh dear, no! Don't get him in. He's going to look at this.
He'll run screaming.
He's going to look at. Or he's going to come in, take one look, and run away screaming. Or he's going to look at this and go, "Well,
I mean, I could also.
You don't know what you're doing."
No, we definitely don't.
He'd be
to be
correct.
fair, I know that he knows that I know I don't know what I'm doing. It's like a scene from Mystery Men. No, I only knew that you know that I know that you knew. Oh God. But yeah, what would you actually do to like? I wonder if Blender might actually be a better piece of software for this for this particular thing. It feels a little bit more like free for me. You could look into generative modeling. I had a set of shelves in my room when I used to live here. I had some shelves up in my room, and I had some generatively designed brackets for them. And this isn't like I'm about to describe a failure of mine. It's not the brackets' fault. But these brackets basically, like someone punched into this generative solver. I can't remember if it was Fusion or what. They basically specified you've got 2 mounting points into the wall, like screw-on mounting points. You've got a flat surface across the top that, crucially, that goes all the way back to the wall, and you're going to have a uniformly distributed load on top. Take away as much, and then yeah, so usual generative design rules. You say like take away the least stressed material.
BRB,
and it ends up with
FreeCAD.
You actually
yes,
right?
I started doing one thing, looked for one tool, and went nope.
Nah, fuck this. But yeah, so I and you get this like as I described, like this really weirdly organic structure, and these shelf brackets, they looked brilliant. I printed them in some like color changing filaments, and like they transition from like orange to yellow or gold or something as they went up, and it was really quite cool. And unfortunately, I made the mistake of breaking the design rules. So like generative design stuff really cares that you specify constraints that accurately represent how you're actually going to use the parts. So you say, I'm putting a load here, and you better like actually do that. Yes. Otherwise the whole design falls apart. As I found out when my shelf fell off my wall, because I had not put my shelf on the brackets fully, I had pulled the shelf like an inch or 2 away from the wall, which meant that the load, instead of being like, so if you imagine the bracket on the wall here, I had the shelf out here a little bit. And it messed with the load paths.
Yeah.
And it meant that a part that was meant to be in like neutral, sort of like was meant to be kind of the pivot point of the thing, was in tension.
Yeah.
And in 3D printing, you don't really want parts in tension. So all the bits that were in tension were very chunky, so that you had lots and lots of surface area for like the layer adhesion, which is usually pretty piss poor with 3D printed stuff, so that it had enough strength. But because I put the tension forces in places that weren't optimized for it, I was woken up in the middle of the night one night by just an entire shelf coming down in one go. Yeah, quite how nothing broke is beyond me. I had my my collector's edition mothership. I had the Homeworld Anniversary collection with a little light up LED. Mothership was like stood up on it. I had my 2 litre
The Bitburger glass.
Bitburger, that's the one. Yeah, my 2-litre Bitburger glass from Pinocchio's by the Nürburgring was up on there, and none of it broke. Like, it fell from sort of up here somewhere, straight down to the floor.
I have one of those glasses as well. I don't know how. Mine got tinked on the rim and now has a 3-inch crack down the edge, which admittedly, if you're drinking 2 litres out of it, is still high enough up because there's supposed to be that much foam in it. It doesn't leak. It's just also not something you really want to chug from when it has a crack that might just grow. I'll just pick this up.
I'll have a mouthful of glass with my beer.
Yes. FreeCAD 1.0 is nearly 400 meg.
Oh, massive.
I'm genuinely surprised. And now it's taking, obviously, quite some time to install because it's 400 meg that it's installed. So,
I'm curious, I wonder where all of that is.
Right?
Like, I know that, like, little bit of computer science nerdery that I'm going to try not to dive into too hard. I know that, like, the geometry kernels, the PowerCAD programs are very complicated.
Yes.
But I can't imagine FreeCAD's one getting that much more complicated in one version.
Right.
Actually, how big was version 20? Then again, like, 400 meg is still quite small, I guess.
Go back in time to 1990 and tell someone that.
Grant. Oh, mate, I work with mainframes at work. I still count things in, like, in cylinders, sectors, and heads.
I will fetch this from tape.
We don't use tape anymore. We use virtual tape. Which means, as far as our software is concerned, it is still reading from tape. And the operating system still behaves
as if it's going to take ages.
So I can be, like, navigating through the menus. And I'll get a message come up saying, you know, please just go off and do something else. We've dispatched a robot to load the tape that is needed to do this task.
Yeah, it's just a hypersonic robot at this point.
Yeah, the robot is also virtualized. Yeah. And I go, okay, cool, I'll wait. And then obviously it's done because it's actually come out of NAND or something. But yeah, it's quite strange when, you know, you're navigating around, like, using an interface that feels like it comes out the Stone Age. But with the speed and latency of... the thing is, I can't even say the speed and latency of modern software, because modern software is all shit and slow. But with the speed and latency of modern, like, modern hardware. And then it tells you it's loading from a tape, but it does it like that. It's
like,
none of it makes sense.
It's fine.
Yeah.
So, whilst I wait for FreeCAD to... Oh, it just finished. Okay, never mind. You, in that case, you can give an update on the gear stick.
Oh, God, yeah. Do I want to take content away from episodes that are yet to come out?
I mean, we built most of this. This has been on a stream before. This is just... We're nearly an hour into
so I'm just going to
if someone wants to watch 45 minutes of us yakking about miscellanea, or they could watch a 20-minute episode that actually cuts to the chase, they are more than welcome to.
Yeah. So so for a while we've had this, like, gear shift or gear shifter column surround. It's in 4 pieces. Like, this is the front of it that goes up into the dashboard. So you've got, like, the driver and passenger sections of the dash. Sorry, Jess, I'm not just leaving you hanging. I'm not sure if you're using that or not. But, like, there's a lot of pieces to it. It's kind of fiddly. And now, granted, this is really more of a development concern. Like, it doesn't really click together very well. So, Aid has been busy. I give Aid all the credit because he's done all the work. He has designed a new one, which is pretty similar in, like, overall architecture. Like, also not architecture. Sorry, pretty similar in terms of, like, what it does in total. But it actually has, like, locking tabs and keys and everything in it, so it holds together properly, unlike any of those bits. And it's only 2 pieces rather than 4. We've also found out the whole thing goes on in 1 piece. So if we had a bigger 3D printer, a friend of ours has a Prusa XL, which would print this in 1 piece. I've got an Ender 5, which unfortunately is currently in with a friend for rebuild, which, if it was finished and back together, would be able to print this in 1 piece. But yeah, the Bamboo that we have here, amazing machine. I do love it to bits. I'd never have one because I don't like the company, but brilliant machine. Unfortunately, is not quite chunky enough to do it in one go. But, like, it works. Let's be fair, it's a gear shifter surround. It's a big lump of plastic. There's only so much I can talk about it.
Pretty much.
But yeah, so it's going to sit on sort of on the. I'm not sure if if any of you remember inside the car very well, but, like, from the sort of driver's seat, you know, steering wheels up here somewhere, the shifter sits on a little, like, incline section above a little storage cubby. And this kind of overhangs off the sides because you've got to be able to cover all the sort of sharp edges of the actual shifter unit itself, which is designed to live in the transmission tunnel of the car, so like underneath, outside of the passenger cell. So it's covered in all sorts of bits that the IVA man will not ever approve in a million years. So this is going to be quite large to kind of get past and around and over all of it.
It's firmly within the prescribed area that it's outside of the prescribed area where you can get away with things not being rounded, padded, whatever.
Yeah, there are a couple of spots where you're allowed to not radius everything and pad everything and all that sort of rubbish.
I can't create a new sketch.
I say rubbish. It stops us from like getting mauled by our own machine when we inevitably crash it. Like, I should really stop poo-pooing the IVA requirements. Not least because I work for an organisation that's partially responsible for them.
Yes. Right.
Have you got what you were... Right. How are you doing, Aid?
I couldn't create a new sketch in a new project because I had a sketch open in an old project.
What?
Yeah, I don't know. It was really unhappy with me. More so than I really gave it credit for. So yes. Let's see if I can actually make a new version of this.
Yeah, like so you and I were actually next to each other. You were still, I think you made this in SketchUp. I could be wrong, but I think you did.
I made the original in SketchUp, which might be in here. I think I can see it underneath.
Yeah, because I remember you were next to me modelling it. This is the one that you made in SketchUp, yeah, and it broke hilariously.
Not only did it break hilariously, it also refused to render a circle. It would only render it with a polygon for an edge.
Oh, apparently we need to see Discord. That's what you meant by the little scutter robots that were running around the Death Star.
Oh, yes.
I was trying to remember what...
I
actually rewatched Star Wars just a couple of months ago. So.
I will help.
I would pop it on the old screen. Yeah, I kind of see it.
Yeah, mouse droid.
Yeah.
Because so you were modelling one on SketchUp, while I was next to you modelling one on FreeCAD, and I'm pretty sure we both finished our models around the same sort of time. And I think I took the coward's way out and said, whatever, we'll just make aids.
Yeah.
Rather than going, no, I'm using actual CAD software. We should use mine.
Yes, which would have been the correct answer.
Probably, yeah. But yeah, no, this thing, when we tried printing it, was a complete disaster. Like, there's something weird about how, like, SketchUp exports geometry.
I genuinely expected the low poly version to be fine in inverted commas, in as much that
you expected it to, like, at least work.
Render the low poly, but when I export it, know that I want a circle, not that I want the low poly thing, and it just plainly refused.
Let's see. I'm not sure if it's particularly visible on camera, but yeah, because
this is very disappointing.
Because this is very, very polygonal. I'm not sure.
Polygonal.
Yeah,
I think.
Oh yeah, no, you actually can. Yeah, you can definitely see it from that camera as well. But yeah, the way the light's bouncing off it.
Yeah, it was very, very unhappy.
That's not in frame.
Oh, is it not? Sorry, I should probably actually use the screen on the camera rather than looking at the physical thing.
It's zoomed in a bit. You might want to zoom out.
But yeah, very, very low poly. Oh, so it's like an N64.
It's the Tomb Raider filter holder.
Yeah. Fong shading. I think that's a particular. But yeah, so this one came out of like an actual CAD program a little while later. But yeah, I'm not sure how we ended up with that particular geometry. Like, that's just such a goofy feature to have in the part. I don't know.
I can show you.
Yeah.
Because the main thing is, I told it actually I can't, because it won't let me rotate round in a particular fashion, which is really annoying. Because if you look at the... Come here. Come here. There we go. There is no gap between the two. And don't get me wrong, it's butchered and hacked together.
Oh yeah, you literally just put like a block in there and extruded it through or something.
I looked through and just went, if I fill this gap, will it print it?
Yeah.
Yes. Okay, fine.
I can
Filled.
see an exclamation mark on pad 00. I love how you've named all of the operations here so we can tell what's going on with each part.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Yeah, pad, and that's another pad, and that's another pad, and that's a pocket, and that's another pad, and that's a pad.
One pad is too many pads. Oh, he's after the treats again. Denied.
You can have some, but you're going to have to look cute on stream.
Mm.
Oh, all right. Or he just pushes it off. He beat me.
He's been failing at his cat duties of knocking everything off the table.
Yes.
We've still got far too many things on the desk.
But yeah,
there's nothing about that I look at and think should be broken apart from that red exclamation mark on pad 01.
Yeah.
That worries me.
Problem is, I don't... Okay, so that is that part.
Oh, so it is actually just individual pieces.
Yeah. As I say, infancy of understanding FreeCAD. Like, this was the first...
No judgment here.
I mean, I've got judgment. This was the first thing that I designed in anger.
Yeah.
In FreeCAD.
Very anger, if I remember right. You had more than a couple of moments working on this.
Actually, I think most of it was being directed at SketchUp for not doing the thing that I specifically asked it to do, which was render a circle.
Yeah.
And that was just latent carryover into
like,
this. And yeah, from there,
Fair.
he's gonna show his arsehole directly to the camera, isn't he? Yeah, there we go.
Yeah.
Demonetized.
Hi, Luna.
Treats for everyone.
So if I hold this anywhere near Bink, he will chase anywhere over the desk to get to it. Luna, you can put it 6 inches from her face and she'll just go, give it to me.
You can tell when he gets the target lock.
There you go.
I've lost him.
Yeah. It's unfortunately, he is in a target-rich, well, he's had a target-rich environment on the floor. Are you gonna... Welcome to PedalBox Plays with Cats.
It's probably more engaging than most of our content.
I don't know what you mean.
Well, he's like, no, bugger off with...
Right, I'm going to take this back so I can do this without straining my neck.
Fair enough.
And
this is what the duplicate or clone function... Just hit Windows P a few times. It'll definitely just do the right thing. Oh, hang on, Binks is on my trackpad. Yeah, buddy. Okay, that's the keyboard instead. That's not an improvement.
Okay, that's also not helpful.
Cats are never a tangent. Cats are fine.
Ooh, I know what I've just... I nearly made a mistake.
Yeah.
Radius of 44.5 millimeters.
No.
It's a diameter.
Yes.
Yeah, let's not make a double scale version of this car. Thank you very much.
We get to hear like Aid doing CAD noises.
This is well. I've made you stress CAD enough times.
That's true. It's been a long time since I did any CAD on stream, and that is not a complaint. I am quite happy to keep it that way.
You're more than happy to. No, this is fine.
Yep.
Yeah.
Aid needs to move his mug. But I think if it falls and breaks, he has to buy another one, and that's supporting the channel. So who's to say whether that would be bad?
You too could support the channel by buying one of these delightful mugs, I think.
And if you already have one of these mugs...
I should probably check that before I start pimping the mugs to make sure that they definitely do exist.
And if you already have a PedalBox mug, leave it on the edge of a desk so a cat can knock it over so you have an excuse to buy another one.
Yes, exactly. Yeah, absolutely flawless victory. I can't see anything going wrong with this whatsoever. We will definitely make use of everything. Remember, all parts of the animal are used. Uh-oh.
Uh-oh.
It's fine.
Do you want to at least clone your screen onto that or something?
Because
I like, you're making noises and I can't see what's happening.
Yes. Please hold, caller. Doo-doo.
No.
How many IT engineers does it take?
No, of course, because this is running at 4K.
Yeah.
Oh,
so
right, okay.
This is going
Windows doesn't know how to downsample one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm going to have to... do that. And now it should work. No, because it's going to be outputting at 59.94.
Yep.
Love it. We're very good at this.
60 hertz. Oh, it will not allow... It's just
Really?
like... Just get good scrub.
You should install Linux. That will totally solve all of your. It will solve this problem.
Oh, no,
it will cause lots of other problems.
No, I can output to the Terranex at 50 and display 60 on the. And
okay.
I just broke. Yeah, because I hit revert instead of keep changes because I'm an idiot.
Awesome. We can now see a CAD.
Right.
What's the small? Oh, that's the screw hole.
So yeah, so we've got five.
So far we're looking at like
5mm hole to go through there.
Those parts.
Need this to here, and I've just realised I've connected that on, which I didn't want it to do, and you didn't do what I wanted you to do there. Right. Okay. So this is, as Chris says, the bolt hole that the whole thing basically pivots around this point, so that you can make two halves, print one mirrored, and they will just kind of go together and work.
I like the optimism there.
Actually, should they be mirrored?
I can't remember.
Take the bolt out and put them next to one another.
No,
they should just.
Print, no, they should be. No,
yeah,
they should be the same as each other.
Yes.
You just print two of it, and I'm just gonna like.
Seems reasonable.
It's been trying for a while.
I don't know what you mean. It's a perfectly wonderfully well built thing.
He's thinking about it.
Now, I'm going to make the wall a little bit thicker. Admittedly, I
good
can't
try.
remember what I made that, but I'm going to go for 5mm now instead of the, I think, 3 that is. And yeah, we'll hopefully do a little bit better than we did before.
Here we go. So yeah, that is... Yeah, they are actually just the same as each other. I shouldn't have broken it. That was silly. Why did I do that? But yeah, they are identical parts. So that's, yeah.
Fine.
No mirroring, no, like, worrying about chirality, just two of the same thing.
Can I do this? I think, okay, I think this is the problem that I entered at before, where this part has to be vertical.
Yeah. Or like, yeah, one of them has
Yeah, one of them has to be vertical. So this part was vertical.
Yeah.
And then getting it to blend seamlessly into the other angle, which...
So bloody hell, I'm tripping all over my words. The way I can see to get the two tubes is fairly easy. You can create a reference axis that's just like tipped over, I don't know, 10 degrees from the vertical, let's say, whatever the number is.
This is going to be thrilling for everybody to watch me just like crucify my brain.
Yep.
Go away. There we go.
Free CAD lessons with PedalBox.
Yes.
Every episode an adventure.
Yep. So I can at least make the lowest plane pattern, so I have something to go off in one piece. I tell you what, I haven't got a tape measure to. Oh no, this is the old.
You've got the old model. You can just reference the dims off that.
Yep.
Assuming the sketches are still valid. One of these sketches has the dimension you want.
If only I'd named them all.
I feel like it's going to be earlier in the timeline than that.
But they're all just like basic pads like that.
But yeah, you need a sketch to pad from, so like...
But that's all... Okay, so...
Oh, there's no sketches attached to them? What?
Yeah.
How? What on earth? I mean, to be fair, you can still get the measuring tool. If you go to the... Yeah, if you grab... I don't know why I'm pointing on the screen as though you can see that. If you go to...
Okay, so here, these are the calipers.
That you can't click on.
Yeah. Do you know the little measuring tool that used to be in point 22? That's not there anymore.
For God's sake.
This is what I mean. I'm like, how do I measure between... You just grab the measuring tool. No, I don't.
Love it. Do you get it if you go to a different workbench? If you go to the part workbench?
Nope. Like, absolutely not.
Freak out, I love you. Why do you have to be like this?
How dare you even suggest that this might be a sensible thing that you could feasibly do? Absolutely not.
All right, what other workbenches have we got? Have they added any new workbenches?
I don't think so. I didn't pay much attention to any
none
of them.
None that look relevant. Like part design is the one that I'm usually using. And that's where
pretty
I usually
much.
find stuff.
Yeah.
All right.
Points? Reverse engineering?
Apparently your breakdown into the mic was
it redlined the audio. Yeah. Which, considering I've got a compressor on, is impressive.
All right, hang on. Make a new sketch. Right, so center the camera on the top. Again, I'm still pointing at the TV. Right, create a new sketch on whatever plane the camera is now steering at.
Yes.
And then import foreign geometry. Select that arc.
So this is okay. I can't create a new sketch in this one. Hang on, because I have a sketch open in this one.
Oh right. Oh, because the sketch tool is open.
Apparently so.
Wonderful.
No object. I know. Yeah, there we go.
I wonder if you now get your calipers.
No, because this is a problem I've come across a number of times already.
Okay.
And
but yeah, so if you import foreign geometry,
yeah,
and then bring in that radius, and then you measure that.
What?
I don't know what that tool was that you just used.
Yeah, that's
Is that the radius? Okay.
Yeah, that's what they made it all into.
Okay. Well, constrained diameter, I guess.
Yeah, auto constrain. And it's just like wrong selection.
Don't use auto tools. They never work. Be explicit.
Constraint radius. Nope. Wrong selection. Constraint only applies to arcs or circles.
Have you still got the origin selected?
Nope.
Oh, hang on. You've got to actually make some geometry because that's only imported it. So you have to make a circle.
No,
and then
you should be able to measure that, as I understand.
66 point something was that? I think I saw.
66.61, which...
That's a weird number.
But that also doesn't follow the radius.
Oh, yeah, okay, fair enough. I hate CAD.
Wow, who'd have thought making a simple bracket out of circles would be so unbelievably difficult?
I mean, the constraint that you need here is not rocket science. I don't want to condescend.
No, unfortunately.
But you just need to coincident that the end point of the arc onto the circle.
But I can't... There we go.
Why are you dragging it round?
What do you mean?
I mean, why are you dragging it round? Like... Select the point.
Yes.
Select the circle that you imported.
Yes.
Don't move it, just select it.
Yes.
Assuming that's a thing that you can do in...
Yes.
Yeah. Also select the circle.
Yes.
Make them coincident.
That's the coincident point.
Yeah. So now...
But that's not the same radius. That's not the same arc.
I bet it is. It's just it's because of the projection onto the plane.
Nope.
Because... Are they sharing a center point?
Because I can't... If I pull that further away...
Oh, no, it is. Because that circle is off vertical. So it gets turned into an ellipse here. So it's going to be narrower across that way.
Yes. Oh, God. Okay.
Would it not be easier to just move the tubes? No, it wouldn't. It wouldn't. We would have to move the MAF and move the airbox.
And the intake, and the roof scoop intake as well.
That's what I meant by the airbox.
Yes,
but
yeah. Yeah, it would actually be surprisingly
We'd have to
difficult.
move metal to make that happen.
Yeah. I would love to just do that. I would also love to... Did it...
Yeah, because you'd have to be sketching on that plane. You'd have to be sketching on like that slightly inclined plane that the
Oh, hang on. Wait,
I
can fix this. Well, instead of taking the flat plane...
Yeah, you sketch on that. And, yeah. Ah.
In before it...
But that's selecting the whole body, not the... For God's sake.
Let's see what we pick up with the magic thing that I've lost. What?
You having fun? To be fair, I think part of the problem here is we're using a model that's from like FreeCAD 0.13. The FreeCAD has been through lots and lots of major releases since we originally made this model.
It absolutely will not let me use the tools I want to use on that face. So I think this part is just professionally broken.
You know what? Just make it like 66 and a bit mil. Because I bet it did actually correctly get the radius. I bet it did that. Make it 66 mil. And if it doesn't fit, we can just change it.
Yeah. We can print a nice thin one overnight and just make it work. But damn if it's not irritating.
However, don't bother making the circle here because the thing is on a different axis. You don't want the circle on this plane. You want the circle on that inclined plane that's matching. So if you take a circle and you sweep it up diagonally, you end up with the wrong shape.
Can I not make? If I can calculate the offset that we need, I can just loft from part to part.
No, because if you take a circle there and you loft it along a diagonal line, if you imagine the air filter along the air filter, it'll be an ellipse for the same reason as the other circle became an ellipse when you projected it. Yeah.
What have you found, eh?
He's found the dreams. Dreamies?
Dreamies.
Discord for life before CAD. I think my favourite thing about the loft tool is that the job that the loft tool does is named so because you used to do it in lofts. So in the big drafting rooms, usually up in the roof of it, you'd have at full scale profiles. You know, obviously, like you'll have seen the cross-sectional profiles that make up like a boat hull form or things like that. And so the engineers that were doing the drafting to actually form the surfaces and the skins, they would take these profiles.
Me too, David. Me too. He said, "Oh, this has got my head back." Yeah, I'm rapidly running out of.
You can see why I didn't enjoy doing stress CAD on stream.
The thing is, it's more that this one in particular was a problem that I remember I had when I did it the first time, and now I'm all confident, like, oh, I can just make it work, and apparently, no, I can't.
Just to crudely oversimplify, right? You can make that circle and the bolt hole.
Yes.
And you just extrude, but this is the important thing, you have to extrude it both ways out of the plane because they cross over in the center, right? So you imagine the
Apparently FreeCAD 0.2 is still installed, which might mean I could open the filter holder in that.
That'd be handy. Yeah, because it doesn't replace the old FreeCAD; it does just install it alongside, which I do quite like.
Oh, which is still missing all of the information.
Okay, so the model is just broken.
It's just broken.
Okay, but yeah, all you do, you take this circle, right, and you pad it up and down from the plane. So you go like, I don't know, 40 mil and neg 40. So you go two faces.
Okay, sorry. Yes, I was looking for this.
Yeah. Oh, okay.
That is the new model.
That's this.
Yes, but I was trying to also open the old one as well to show like the multi-partness of it.
Yeah.
There we go. So that is the multi-part nature of the previous one, with all of the various pieces. There was, as I say, it was literally pieced together of, well, I'll just make the front work. So I can fit it underneath the dashboard, and then well now I can make it longer, and then I'll split it so that it goes further back, because then we haven't just got a clean line between the two halves of 4 pieces, and it will be easier to build it like bricks effectively to go up. And then I decided that was an awful way to do it, and as much as this looks like it's still 4 parts.
That's only because that's where seams are.
I
made use different operations to.
Yeah, I basically went through and rebuilt the bottom half as was.
Yeah.
And then built the top half on top of that section for each one. So there is only a front and a back, but it goes through very. In fact,
still very well named operations.
Yeah, I haven't fixed any of that yet. So that was start, and then put the sides in.
Yeah.
Carved out most of the underside, then took it down, chamfered it, filleted it, cut it round, etc., and just sort of built it in, and then started taking. So this is all taking the front off to fit around the dash, and then
I do love that you can rebuild the thing step by step.
And then added the extra section on top, and again just started cutting away. And this needs some adjustment. It needs to come a little bit further forwards at the, if you pass that one, It needs to come slightly further forwards on this front edge to actually sit up against the dashboard.
It's just about right, actually.
But it's close. It only wants a few millimeters more potentially, so it sits right up against the dash padding. But that's as far as it needs to go. But it's so much lower than the other one overall.
Yeah.
And then obviously once we'd kind of got to the end, put all the tongues in so they join together. There's a good chance I'll probably end up making a 4th iteration of this, with just making
in the episode that we shot today. I called this version 5 or 6.
It's file version 3.
Right. Okay.
But this has gone through
version
so
3 final.
I mean,
oh, dude, we've done so many parts for this.
And another one.
Like every other 3D printed thing on the car, there's like 20 of it in that box.
And in fact, just purely because that's obviously a different one. Just because I'm now mildly curious to how many versions we have.
I think we do this on every stream, don't we? We get like just a whole bunch
of something, yeah.
3D printed guff.
So
I'm trying to stack them all when I kind of
take
can.
the middle one out because that's
God,
a different piece. So
my day.
I'm just talking about one section,
right?
Which is what you said in the episode.
Okay.
So that is all pieces from specifically the front section.
I feel like I'm stacking lots, except this is way less therapeutic.
It's very loud in this box. And then so there's 5 versions of that. 1, 2, 3,
6.
So there's 6 versions of the front piece, including the one that was finalised. There is 1 version of the rear piece, followed by that one.
If you work at Creality, please send us a 3D scanner.
Yeah, PedalBox Jenga, basically that. And then the top pieces, I think there's only 1 top piece, which you had.
That's this one here.
That's that one, yeah. So that was the front piece to go on top of that one. So there's 1 of them. I don't think it had a key at that point.
It does, yeah.
Oh, it did. Excuse me. So there's 1 of those, and then that, and then this one. This is literally single print for the rear section. So there's 6 versions of the front, 2 of the rear, 2 of the front upper, and 1 at the rear. So what does that average to? Like
a lot.
Version 4?
Thereabout. What does it sum to?
Yeah. Let's not talk about that. Looking at the. Looking at
that's
all of
usually
the
how it goes, though. Like, and to be fair, I think that's one of the cool things about 3D printing, right? Is you don't have to actually spend ages doing like properly horrible, painstaking, detailed analysis of the thing up front. You can just like belt something out that's kind of right, and you can do that really, really easily.
Yeah.
And go, oh yeah, like it seems like it's off by this much in this way. It feels to me like agile development, but for things, it's quite cool.
Yeah. Pretty much. Right, I've put this back since I'm now not going
Which
to
actually, now that I've said that out
angrily
loud,
fight my way around CAD.
What I've basically just described is 3D printing is really good if you suck, just like agile software development, which is not actually an opinion I have.
No, it's agile. There's no documentation. Oh, I've just noticed where Binks is.
I will have a seizure if you say that
Binks.
again.
That's very convenient.
And then I'll go and kill him.
You've stored yourself away on the shelf. Well done. That's actually the most useful place you could have possibly gone. Excellent. To have a shoulder cat. So yeah, that's kind of where we've been for a lot of the 3D printing stuff. Really, I put all of them back in here. If you pass them over, and just tessellate as many in other ones as possible. It's not going to go very well though.
No.
So yeah, it's getting better, it's getting closer. There was a comment on the last video that we did that PLA is a terrible thing because it won't survive the heat long enough in the cars. And they are absolutely 100% correct. However, the PLA is the cheapest and easiest to work with to prototype in.
How many cars are we building, Aid? It depends. Do you count like restoring, modifying, repairing as building? Because like we're building the Murderwagon, Lotus, whatever, like thing, the kit car, in inverted commas. We're building that. I think you can definitely call that building.
Yeah.
The Thunderbird, you're restoring.
Yes. The GTO is getting paint
tarted
fixed,
up a bit.
Yeah, and for moving.
Yeah, the Mark II...
it is a very convenient content factory.
The Mark II, you're repairing.
Yes.
The SD1, I am upgrading.
Yes.
There's lots of different verbs here.
Yes. Yeah.
But I don't know. Depends how you count. But like we could probably say 5. Anywhere from 1 to 5.
Yeah, probably about that.
Which, if I'm totally honest, I think is too many.
And then there's the ones that come to visit for work, like the Evora.
Yep. I was a little bit gutted I missed that.
The MX-5.
I haven't even had a drive in the Evora yet.
Neither have I yet.
I
moved it around the... Yeah. Oh, sorry, I don't mean for a drive.
I don't expect to be allowed to drive it. But I haven't even been a passenger.
So yeah,
it's very unfair.
Building is a very loose term. There's 5 projects on the go at various different stages and types of project. Some, as I say... did we say 5?
I think I said 5. It might be 6, whatever. Like, it's give or take that, yeah.
Yeah, some are rebuilding. Yes, we have got a name for the kit car build, which the badge for it is possibly behind me. Nope, it's probably in the lounge, which is problematic. Yeah, I can't see it anywhere. I will go get it. You continue with the talkings.
Yeah.
And I will go find, and unfortunately walk in front of all the cameras.
Yeah, the name's been a pretty tricky one for its whole life. So we've had, like... We've tried to be like punny with the name a bunch of times. We've had all sorts of different ideas over the years. Obviously, we've been building this thing now for like 6 or 7 years, I think. And the whole time through, we're like, we can't keep calling it the kit car forever. Mostly because it's not a kit anymore. Like, it's long past that point. And I can't remember some of the earliest names that it had, like internal sort of codenamey stuff. But one day, I just called it the Murder Wagon. And that's kind of unofficially stuck among some friend groups and everything. Understandably, it was kind of like half rejected, partly because it wouldn't play well with the algorithm. As much as like what we're making isn't exactly mass market appeal video here, it is still nice to have YouTube's sort of content curation thing give us a bit of a kick when it can. So having the word murder in all of our video titles probably wouldn't have been awesome.
The Unalive Wagon?
Sorry?
The Unalive
Wagon? The Unalive Wagon, yeah. Just dodge all the TikTok censors. The other reason we eventually decided against Murder Wagon was because at the time, Aid's girlfriend, Yola, was doing a lot of like Girl Guides stuff. And she was talking to the girls at Girl Guides about it. And she didn't really like the idea of talking to young girls about a car that her boyfriend was building that was called the Murder Wagon. So that just became like an internal, like, friendly code name for it. And we've been struggling for ages. And, like, we have, as I said, we've tried to be kind of punny with it. And frankly, most of the pun options were trash.
It was there.
It was right there the whole time.
I've just run around the house looking in all of the spots that I've had this going. I know it's there. I know where it is. It was there.
So the
pedal wagon, yes.
Yeah. I think a couple people have called it the pedal wagon occasionally.
Yes. The pedal wagon, the pedal bus.
The closest thing it has to a proper name now is you can reveal it because like you've put the work in to like actually make the emblem and logo and everything.
Yes.
For it.
So Chris, I presume, has gone through a bunch of the theoretical names. We had the Threven for a while.
No, I deliberately avoided them because they all sound like shit.
They were never great by any stretch. They would do as a placeholder, but I always wanted to find something else that would work better. And eventually, I can't remember when this kind of struck me, but because it's not a Lotus 7, it's lots of different things. Thus, it became the Lotsus. And I made the badge and everything with the script, changed the, because let me find the...
It's on there,
Lotus badge. So the original, put that down there for a second while I get this. The original Lotus badge, I say the original, this is the new logo from it. Let me find the original.
Oh, have you got another one? But I do like the sort of vintage Lotus.
Well, no, it's more Lotus changed their badge.
Oh, and of course, and you've modified it to follow, haven't you? Oh, yes. I'm not sure if I'd seen this one before. I've definitely seen the new one.
No, that is. I'm talking about Lotus changed how their badge went. So this is the original Lotus badge.
Yeah,
that's the original design. This is their new one. Again, excuse the tiny thing. Yeah, it's just a bit...
Oh, I thought you did something that was more just texty. Maybe I'm just misremembering things or inventing stuff.
So I ended up making that one, but I changed the column badge in the middle.
Yep.
So it says PB.
Yep.
Obviously. And then found the script and made all the letters up and everything. But that's the only badge that I've made for it.
Oh, he's going for them again.
Yeah, of course he is. So yes,
I'm going to let him try, but if I see him getting into them, I will take him back off him.
You going to sit?
Think about it then.
He's given up. I'll be damned.
Let me move this out of the way.
Well, at least they didn't go full Jaguar on it.
He was sat nicely right across just behind me for a little while, being all calm. Yeah.
I can see him. Hello.
Yeah. So yes, so that that's what we changed it to, and it's 3D printed with the orange and blue, but then I've gone over the top of it, which you can kind of see when you hold it up to the light where the paint is really thick, and I just used enamel paint and just flooded it to get a slightly nicer colour, and then used a chrome pen on all of on all the silver to make it chrome, and it's okay. I don't like the depth that it's currently sitting at.
Do you think it should have more or less?
I think it should be less.
Oh, really?
I think it should be about half as high. The relief should be about half as high because it casts too many shadows and makes the Lotus too difficult to read. Like if I have a photograph that I took of it to send to somebody. I think it might have even gone into Discord. Oh, I see him.
He's trying. They are still sealed, I think.
Yeah, they're all sealed. He knocked them over into a pile and just started feasting underneath me, which was... maybe it's...
They do if they're being monitored.
Actually did it
Don't do it, Binks.
You can put your paw on it all you want.
You can put his teeth in it. But yeah, there's been some...
There we go. That was the picture that I took of it.
Yeah, that is a wonderful piece of table.
Stop. And yeah, the contrast doesn't quite work, which is the unfortunate bit. I think the lettering is too high, but I'm just not 100% sure how I want to fix it. It also needs that's the trackpad. See,
is that blood on the worktop?
No. It'd be weird if I'd managed to bleed printing that out.
Yeah.
No, I think that's red. That's red paint from when I was doing the.
It's just a Shaun of the Dead moment. You got red.
You got red on you. Yeah. The fact that the T didn't print across the top because it was too fine.
Yeah.
Is a problem.
When you've got something that's too small, too fine detail for a bamboo to print it.
It was on a 0.4mm nozzle. I think it would print on a 0.2.
Yeah.
In fairness, and it would be done on a 0.2 if I did it again. Now that I have a 0.2 nozzle.
Blood on the stream demonetized.
So
it's not blood. It's red ink. Totally.
So yeah, that's the...
Yeah, like this is the of all the names that we've floated so far, this is the one that I'll be honest, I still don't totally love it, but I definitely don't hate it anywhere near as much as some of the other ones.
Correct.
Like I remember the face you had when you floated the idea of calling it the Lotus Threven.
Well, it wasn't Lotus.
Sorry,
for a
not
start.
Lotus, but sorry, good point.
Because it was also
the Threven, and
it was an
what was even the Thru part? Oh, it was an A3.
It was an A3.
Yeah.
I literally just jammed them together, and it worked for a given
no,
value of work.
It didn't work on any level. There was
It vaguely. I maintain it vaguely worked. I didn't say it was good. I said it worked, and those are two very, very different words.
Yeah.
I did hide liquids. So yes, it was. Picking a name is a struggle, and I see why brands spend a lot of money picking a name. I think if you're rebranding,
most brands also aren't trying to be punny.
I'm not trying to be punny. I'm just trying to not
But every suggestion we've had so far has been punny.
Unfortunately, that's just how my brain works. That's what I'm good at.
But yeah, it's lots, as in it is lots of different cars. I do like that it is also a bit sus, though.
It is a little bit sus. But yeah, it's lots sus because it's lots of things in a Lotus.
Yeah.
Lots of parts. That's exactly it, Vix. So yeah, that was kind of... That's what I've settled on. I am still open to suggestions, as I think Chris is as well.
I think, like... So, we've got like I'm just going to call you the thirst for knowledge. I'm sorry, I can't bring myself to say threest out loud. So
Legion, do you know what? Lotus Legion.
But is Lotus the manufacturer, or is it going to be the PedalBox Lotus?
PedalBox Lotus, as far as like old PBC PedalBox cars.
Yeah.
Because we have to pick a manufacturer and a name.
Yeah.
And a manufacturer and a model, effectively. It is Thirst.
I know.
It is meant to be Thirst. But yeah, well, Chimera already exists. TVR have that, so that's unfortunate.
You can have two. It's not like they exist to enforce the trademark anymore, is it?
Yeah, fair. They exist as a list of IP, unfortunately.
Yeah, that's true. Someone probably does own it.
Yeah, somebody definitely owns it in Russia. Canyonero.
PedalBox 57.
But the thing is, it is not 12 lanes wide.
It's also not 66 tons of American
52
pride.
tons
52
of American
tons,
pride.
sorry, yeah. Where did they get 66 from?
Might have the unexplained fires, though.
It might have unexplained fires, and they may... Would there be a matter for the courts?
Depends.
Depends
on the effects of the fire, I think, yeah.
Yeah, basically that. Yeah, there are so many names, other ones that I thought, that would be great, and then I've sat on it and gone... No, and I've just purged it from. I can't even remember what some of the other ones. Yeah. I only remember the Threven because it was the first one, and I wrote it down somewhere, and as a result, committed it to the useless part of my memory.
Yeah.
And everything else is a blank. Even ones other people have suggested that we've gone, no, didn't like that, and like they come up from time to time. Here's a great one. You're like, had it, discounted it. Like, oh, okay. But yeah, Lotus is about as happy as I've ever been with any of the names. It is good enough. It will do. It is descriptive.
Yep.
And
it is definitely not a lawsuit waiting to happen.
No, absolutely not. We've changed all of the elements. Every single element has been changed.
This is a transformative work of parody.
Yes,
I think you'll find our usage
that.
of. I claim fair use.
The Lotus Tangentus.
No copyright infringement intended.
Yes.
I think that's the get out that everyone uses.
That's what they try.
Yeah.
Whether or not it works is a very different matter altogether.
10 million YouTubers can't be wrong.
They can.
Yes.
I beg to differ. Have you seen how many followers certain people have?
Yeah. But no, I'm okay with Lotus.
Yeah.
So yeah, we have a name. So we've managed to make a yes/no question take up like 20 minutes. Good for us.
Maffy, yeah, we could call it the Synergy.
No.
He did say we could really hate ourselves and call it the Synergy.
We already really hate ourselves. We don't need to hate ourselves anymore.
And I have...
Would a person who loves themselves take on this project?
It's really hard to say. Synergy, synonym.
Yes.
Yeah.
We did also, quite early on, we went through a couple of ideas of, I wonder if, because like, a fairly popular thing, at least in software and IT,
it's a couple
PVC agility has no, this is very well documented. We've got 100 episodes on YouTube documenting this.
There's,
yeah, we went through a whole bunch of like
circle back to that. Circle back to that name.
Yeah.
Get out.
I hate them all.
Synonyms of synergy: partnership, the collaboration, the cooperation, the synergism, which I don't like because it has the word jism in. The kinship, the teamwork, the unity, the solidarity, the symbiosis.
Solidarity forever, but I'm not sure this is really the time for that.
Reciprocity.
I do kind of like the idea of going like properly silly with our manufacturer name. We'll go for like Parkside Advanced Automotive Engineering Concepts or something.
Yeah.
Bloody hell.
Yeah. Are you gonna make? I don't think you're gonna make it up there.
Who is about this big? Just skate. He's on top of the door,
okay, right.
And he leapt all the way up from ground level. The shite melange.
Yeah. So Binks just scaled
that door
from
ground level, like
from
just
the
up
floor,
in one,
and just hung 2 paws off the edge, scrabbling with his back legs, and then just casually climbed up.
Rear behind the scenes shot of PedalBox Studios.
hi, Lucky.
And the sound and the noise-proof booth that we never ever use.
It was really, really good
for the handful of voiceover. You know what? My biggest problem with that is when we used it, it made all of the other audio that we did in the episode where we used it sound like dog shit by comparison.
Yes, absolutely terrible. Unfortunately, not to mention it was so inconvenient.
Yeah, that
because you had to render the episode out.
Yeah.
Bring it down, put it on a laptop in there.
Oh, the amount of time it took us to do our voiceover bits.
It didn't make noise. It was nicely damped. It had a curtain that sat across that heavy curtain across the front.
Did you notice how differently we talked when we were doing voiceover?
Yes. Yeah.
I sounded so stilted.
Yeah,
I hate how I do VO.
It took me a long time to stop being quite so stilted in my voiceovers.
And I don't know what causes it. Like, what is it about like doing VO that makes us talk like that?
Ooh, the grand amalgam.
I do quite like that.
It
does sound a little bit like it's just the grand doing this.
Yeah,
but it does sound a little bit more like an SUV or like large estate station wagon-y kind of vehicle.
Yeah, I mean that's the Grand Cross. The Volkswagen is I say big. It's not that big. It's still a medium-sized crossover, but still. We can't call it the Blue Sky. There's a social media app called that. The Friendster. There's some great names in here, none of which we're going to use, but I do enjoy the shite melange.
The buildership of the thing.
Potato. So yes,
what's welders, Precious?
There are many, many options we've gone through and thinking. Yeah. A lot of the time is when I've been on the road for 4 or 5 hours, like driving up to my folks or something, and I'm just kind of like
hysterics and
just sort of pondering things.
Yeah.
And
the antipsychotics are wearing
yes,
off.
Yeah. Basically that.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's Kari McCarface. Unfortunately, you are so late to that particular party there, Aid. Yeah, the Theseus was also one. We joked about that.
Technically, the ship of Theseus is a ship that's had every plank replaced.
When
we
were talking about how much of the original chassis we'd gone,
that's a good point.
The joke was,
chassis of Theseus,
if we removed any more of it, we could call the car of Theseus. So that that was kind of thought about, but we left sufficient amounts of the chassis. We could have cut all of the bits off and then just reassembled the chassis next to it, and then it would absolutely have been the car of Theseus.
Sorry, if you can vamp for a minute, I've got a picture somewhere buried in the backlog of my phone.
Yeah. I'm sure
it's very relevant to what we're currently talking about.
I'm sure I have a copy of it somewhere, but for the life of me, I couldn't tell you where I could like lay my hands on it immediately.
So yeah, in here somewhere, I've got a photo of the chassis as we originally received it.
Oh no, I've got that picture.
No.
So I can do that one.
But I've overlaid on it.
Yes.
Which bits we've kept.
I'll find my other one. I'll find the other one, and then you put that into Discord.
I'll pop it in the Kit Car channel in the Discord.
Yeah, and then I can grab
the
other one. So, because I need to make sure and check which one is which.
It's in Discord.
It's in Discord, right? Fine. I've lost
It's not
Discord.
even on the track yet. We're on splitter number 3. Did we have a splitter number 1? We had a floor number 1.
We only ever made one splitter because we built the floor.
Yeah, the splitter came later.
Yeah, we built the floor. Well, I had the wood to build the original splitter. Ready to go on.
Which you chose not to because the floor had gone so fast.
Because the floor warped so hard so fast. So that is when I pull it up.
So yeah,
that is the original chassis.
Yeah,
as was
with complete with the aluminium panels that we didn't totally get rid of. We kept a few of them, but we repurposed.
I was going to say we still have all of the panels, but we've repurposed every single piece of them now into other things.
Yeah, if you pull up the Kit Car channel in Discord.
Then there is this.
This is one of the secret super special channels that...
I'm just going to... Oh, I can't open it in... Yes, I can open it in browser. There we go. And I think...
That our donors get access
to. Still, like, unbelievably oversized. Yeah. Everything in green still exists.
Some of it's been, like, replaced for the sake... Because it's, like, warped or damaged. But I think that the green is still mostly as was.
Oh, yeah, sorry. That one there.
Oh, actually, no. Sorry, yeah. Anything that we've... No, I'd say anything that we've replaced with different is red. Anything that we've replaced like for like is green.
Yes. So because this one was round. This is
that had completely
1 inch
rounded out.
box section tube
that had turned into round tube.
only at the middle.
Yeah.
And I have no idea how that happens, because it's like it's hydroformed.
Yeah.
And it had gone, so unless it had filled with water, froze and done, no idea. But one way or another, it was round in the middle. So there was one or other side of this, and there was another piece as well. That piece is still original.
Is it?
Oh no, it's not. No, we took that out because we put a full
width cross. Yeah.
That one we took out, but we put back in because that one we lifted up onto the top.
Did we leave it vanilla though, or did we change it when it went? Yeah, we lifted it.
Yeah, we lifted it.
Yeah.
It didn't go back in that place, but that piece of metal still exists.
But and the entire like center tunnel's gone.
Yeah.
Like there's a lot that.
Yeah, everything out of that went.
Yeah. Can you like full screen that
all
or
of
something?
these.
I know it's a bit short on pixels, but.
I can do it to about there.
Oh, I didn't actually bother annotating the exterior panels on the other side, but it's symmetric across the car.
All of that went away. Everything below that loop at the front. In fact,
please excuse the crudity of the diagram. I did it by finger on my phone.
Yeah, it's worse than that actually because this piece at the front disappeared.
It did, yeah.
So we got rid of.
This
all
is
of
quite
that
an
as
old
well.
rendering.
These two angled pieces here also, I suppose you have marked that there.
Yeah.
So yeah, that went. That stayed. All of these pieces stayed in. That piece stayed in. That was replaced.
You'd have a hard time
for
finding
given
it.
Value. That was replaced for a given value. I can't remember exactly how. No, actually no. That one's still in. That one is unmolested. But then there's just a smaller tunnel in the bottom here with pieces that go to it, and everything off the top, everything off the back, everything off the lower half of the front.
It's not even the lower half of the front; it's everything other than the top.
I'm sure there's one more brace that comes across the back here that we kept, which is the same. But I could be wrong because that's where the seats. Yeah,
there is a second one that the back of the seat runners go onto, and I think that's still.
I am almost 100% sure that this piece stayed in, because we just put a new piece in the centre.
Maybe
Yeah. I'm almost 100% sure that.
To be fair, I did do this from memory. So
yeah, that bottom piece of the floor is original.
Either way,
because
it's right enough to kind of get the idea across. Yeah,
because otherwise you'd have it would flap side to side because you'd have nothing connecting any of the centre. You just have two buckets.
Yeah,
that's the only connection piece front to back. Actually, there might be another one there, but either way, the two cross members in the floor.
Yeah.
And I think we moved one of them forwards to put the seat rails in, which we then joined in between the back. So the one that's at the back of this section moved forward, to the bottom of these two V sections here.
Do you want to point with the mouse cursor?
Sorry,
because for the most part we've been on the screen view.
So where this member comes down and this member goes back up, the cross member on the floor that is further back now runs into the bottom of here.
Yeah.
And then the seat mounts are in the back behind that.
But
and in front, and then this cross member is actually still in there.
Yeah. The important thing is, there's a lot of red, and very little of it is wrong.
Yeah. Yeah, pretty much. It is pretty much spot on.
So yeah, the only chassis of Theseus.
Yeah. it does kind of work.
Yeah.
But it's. I think.
Well, actually, you know what? The ship of Theseus analogy does work fairly well because if you imagine what this should have been turned into, everything from that vision has been replaced.
Yes. Yeah.
If we stretch the analogy a little bit, Theseus could do it.
It's not terrible. And as I say, my mind just stalled.
Good work. I do think if anyone can come up with the name of like a mythical figure,
I've been through
mythological deity.
I've been through gods, deities,
specifically, who suffers with multiple personality disorder.
Janus, two-headed god.
Okay,
Janus.
I mean, that's just an economist.
I think Janus.
Varoufakis.
God he's Roman god of beginnings, transitions, and endings. He's also the god of doors, gates, and archways, which is nice, I suppose.
Ironic, considering we have none. Well, we've got archways in the car. The
wheel archers, but he's the two-headed god. He's Sean Bean in GoldenEye.
I was going to say, yeah, Sean Bean's villain codename in GoldenEye.
Yep. Huh. That's very hard to pronounce, Thirst. I'm going to let you have a go at that one because I don't want to.
I'm guessing the E is mostly silence. It's probably something like Shoggorath.
Multi-faced gods. Janus, typical. The many-faced god from Game of Thrones is...
Not from Game of Thrones. I'm not naming my car after
I'm going through... I mean, this is Google AI, so, it's the first one that came up. The many-faced god... He's called the many-faced god in Westeros. So
that's very imaginative. They worked hard on that one. Or George R.R. Martin worked hard on that one.
Yeah. The triple deity... this is deeply, deeply unhelpful.
I mean, Hydra has multiple heads.
Yeah, multiple heads.
I'm not sure it's the same. Although it seems every time we've cut a bit of this off, 3 different bits have gone back in its place. So, you know...
How many deities are there in the Persona-verse?
I don't care. That's a video game.
That's an interesting... Personas equals demons? No. Oh, it's... Multi-personalities, gods. Okay, that's not
I apologise for sticking quite this big of a spanner in Aid's brain. I didn't expect that to...
Oh no, Dionysius was said to have multiple personalities. Oh. Behold a chicken. Behold, man. Behold, a car. That's not... right. Yeah. I'm like, it wouldn't be terrible. Yeah, Cerberus, as Aid says, TV already got that one.
I did say no one's going to be enforcing that trademark.
Bacchus is Dionysius by another name.
Oh, right, okay.
Dual persona.
I'm not quite as up on my my ancient Greeks as I probably ought to be.
Ought to be is a very strong. It's just very strong.
It
would be nice. It is one of those things I'd be like, I'd like to know more.
I'm accused of being smart often enough that I feel like I should live up to that myth.
Accused.
By,
accused like you're on trial.
Yeah. Well, no,
you stand accused of being smart. How do you defend yourself?
If I was found guilty of being intelligent, it'd be like actual expectations of me to like know things and solve problems, and I do neither of those. I make problems.
Yeah.
Agreed.
Yes. I identify as a problem.
Thank you for the off-camera support.
Anytime.
Well,
names are hard.
It feels like it's been a very successful day. We've covered a lot in this live stream, in addition to doing a lot a lot of work on the car.
We didn't do any of the CAD that we did some of.
I tried.
We flailed helplessly at the CAD briefly.
Man, that's a way more complicated. I understand now why I struggled so much with it. Like, also learning FreeCAD at the same time as trying to do something that is apparently weirdly complex. I'm sure I'll have an epiphany moment at some point, and I can see how to do it. I just also hate it.
I think I might have just figured it out. Figured out some of it. I haven't figured out how to get the like the sort of spanning support.
So that's the only bit. That's the only bit that I'm struggling with.
Well, you didn't get that far. You struggled getting to that point.
The problem was I was doing something, and I went, but how do I make it do the spanning between?
Yeah,
and just derailed myself.
That feels like a thing that you do later. Yeah, it feels like you start off by getting the two. So basically, the way I imagine doing it is you take you extrude out the two outer profiles, like these pieces.
Yeah.
Then, just to be certain, so you overlap them quite a lot in the join.
Okay, you're on exactly the same path as I was.
So you at least lose, because it's the crack in here that actually is the failure point. You can even see it in there, right? It's the gap. I'm not going to zoom in again, or you can, I suppose.
I was going to say this is it. Yeah, I can now.
So this gap in here was the failure point.
No. I did. Yeah. I missed.
In fact, you can.
Where on earth is the menu button?
Press the camera thing on the screen, bottom left.
Oh, yeah,
professional video man.
Genuinely forgot this was touchscreen.
Not a professional camera.
True. Professional video man using consumer hardware. So yeah, the failure point is the gap.
I zoomed in a lot there.
Yeah, fair enough.
There we go.
So yeah, that crack in there is a failure point because the two pieces aren't actually properly connected, right? So my guess is if you make the walls of these thicker so they overlap more and close that gap up, there does then become a risk that in theory, like this outer wall here could intrude into this hollow. So then all you do, you punch a pocket all the way through on the same axis, right? And then so that obviously gets you back the. Sorry, I keep moving it around. I'm
just going to zoom out.
Yeah. And
Right.
then like so that at least gets you a much stronger join
Focus.
between the two circles. And the tricky bit though,
You
is
are
that
wonderful
to try
in
and
focus. It is really unhappy.
oh, is it detected a person and is like I want to
it's
focus
like,
on the
you?
human.
Yeah, you. No, I don't.
But yeah,
Right.
the tricky
Turn on
bit
manual
then is
focus,
how you
use the focus
connect here.
I'm just going to give up. It's fine.
Yeah. Well, maybe you don't. Maybe you just put webbing
away.
across
There
on
we
the
go.
ends. Maybe you just web it here and here, and you don't span over there. Like maybe you don't like reinforce all the way across there. You reinforce here.
But then you create a gully which will just catch water and detritus.
Put a hole in it.
Put a dunk on it.
Like it's been our solution everywhere else that collects water is drill, done.
Yes. What do we do? Drain it.
Yeah.
How are we going to drain it?
Hole.
Pipe. Done.
Yeah.
Can't be bothered.
Like don't stop water getting there in the first place. Just let it out.
Yeah. But yes, that's what I was saying to somebody before. Somebody in the comments on the last video said that the PLA is not the right thing to be building any of these parts out of, and they are 100% correct.
Yeah.
If it weren't for the fact that the PLA is the easiest, cheapest thing to build in, and goes
Especially
down
when you're
fastest.
prototyping and breaking.
So
shit.
yes, once we get to a part that we know fits and it works and we like it, then we can reprint it in PETG or similar,
ABS or whatever.
Yeah, ABS, ASA, whatever we choose to do it in.
Bamboo probably won't do peak. I don't think that my modified 5 will do peak. 450 degrees C, you need to get the hot end to.
That's a lot.
Yeah, you can make actual manifolds in peak.
Ooh.
I've seen people do it. They're quite mad.
I wonder. So I've seen Peak used on Zach Friedman's print every filament thing.
Oh yeah, yeah.
So he did that, and
have.
I'm wondering what he used. Obviously, he has a suite of printers.
Yeah.
So I'm just like, I wonder what he used, which could just be a big old Prusa or Chirality or something like that
with
a
modded
modded
with
hot
an overclocked
end.
hot end.
Yeah,
kind of thing,
exactly.
yeah.
So.
Yeah, I mean, Aborn's got a point.
Yes,
We can just
exactly.
have someone 3D print it in metal. Like once we've got the design down, and that's the thing. Like PLA, yeah, it is kind of crappy, but it's, as Aid said, cheap and easy.
It absolutely does the job for things like the. I mean, this is the old one.
Yeah.
But for things like this, it's perfect because it will do, even long term. When it warps, if it warps, then we can get it reprinted.
That's the other thing, right? You go, oh no, it broke.
Anything that's holding a switch in place in the dash, which was likely to get warm in the sun or something like that, and then it goes, and then we can't operate the switch, is a much bigger problem than, oh no, my number plate surround warped slightly. I might have to think about doing something eventually.
The air filter one in particular. So like, this is really not doing all that much work. If we're totally honest, this is not actually.
It's an alignment thing.
Yeah.
That air filter sits in place absolutely perfectly on those pipes.
Yeah.
That's it.
Do you know what this could actually be? This could be a piece of felt that we wrap around the rear.
Felt?
Yeah.
Okay.
Or foam, or like it could be all sorts of things, but felt's like soft.
Yeah.
Right? Because actually, what this is for is to stop the carbon fiber. It's probably like a carbon fiber veneer of the outside of the air filter drum from abrading against against that rear stay.
As Thur said, does it have to be vibration proof? And that's basically
if
it.
we were
It's
anchoring, if we're using
to
it
stop
like
it
this,
rubbing and stop it moving around. It's just to stop it. It's worse. The rubbing is fine. It's the.
No, to be fair, I'm more concerned about the rubbing because I don't want the rear roll cage stay to eat the air filter. So in my mind, this is just stopping the air filter from having a fight with the rear stay.
Yeah. If I was driving along, though, it's stopping it bouncing off the roll cage.
Yeah.
That would be incredibly annoying if engine rev, tap, 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 tap,
Yeah,
tap,
that's
tap,
fair.
tap, tap.
That's fair.
So yeah, first and foremost,
it
it is
is
a locator and a preventer of...
Yeah. Have we got any pictures of the engine bay handy? I'll have a quick dig around because, like, the interesting thing here is the air filter is mostly held in place because it's not very so we've got the air scoop on the top of the of like the top of the roof, as if there's any other part of the roof. at the back
the bottom of the roof.
Well, I guess you do on the inside. But yeah, so we've got the air scoop kind of behind our heads in the middle of the car here. Little air box behind it to capture moisture and everything. And so basically we've got a round outlet on the airbox. It goes to a little 90-degree silicon pipe that goes straight into the top of the air filter. And the airbox is the chassis.
Please hold.
Like, for all intents and purposes, it's actually fixed in place. So you've got one piece of silicon hose, give or take yay big. And the air filter goes into the bottom of that. And then at the bottom, we've got another piece of silicon hose that goes into the mass air meter on the engine. And that itself is actually held up on... Admittedly, it's not a very big metal bracket, but it is on a metal bracket. So this is not like a big, heavy, unsupported system, you know, with no constraint. It doesn't really actually move very much, naturally. It just moves enough that, like, when you're driving, as it's vibrating around, it will be banging into that rear stay. Not like... I don't think it would be like violently damaging things levels of impact. It would just be
this picture
that kind of crappy.
This picture
your car isn't held together properly.
It's vaguely useful.
Oh yeah, that'll do it.
So,
oh man, can use a few more pixels.
There we go.
Oh, there we go. Yeah.
So here is the roof intake at the top here, and it comes down into this
Sorry,
box.
I just read Matthew's last message. For those who weren't directly watching the stream when Aid said, it's not the rubbing, it's the...
Yeah, reasonable. So this is the outlet from the airbox.
Yeah.
On the inside of the roof panel behind the firewall. So this comes down, exits here, and basically runs with an air filter in this spot down into the throttle body.
No, that's the mass meter. The throttle body's...
That's the mass meter. The throttle
body's all the way around on the manifold.
Yes, that's the MAF sensor under here. So between these 2 points is actually reasonably good. Like, there's enough flexi on this pipe.
Well, the MAF is
to
supported.
Take out the movement of the engine.
Oh, sorry, yes. Yeah. To decouple the MAF
the MAF is supported on this side of the car on the turret.
Ignore the heater tank. We've moved that. Which is somewhat in the way.
There we go.
But yeah, so the MAF is actually held in place and decoupled from the engine. So even the engine, like, torquing around, which in fairness it shouldn't do because of the torque arm underneath it. But even as the engine moves, it shouldn't bother the MAF very much. So yeah, it's more the vibration and, like, crappy sounding noise.
Yeah.
That this guards against.
Which we could do with a much smaller piece as well, but if you make it smaller, it's almost harder to do because you. I suppose.
Well, it's a bit of a catch-22 in some sense because, like, this being as it's relatively long, right? If you're off by a degree or two,
yes,
the size of that error in millimeters at the top and bottom of the thing is relatively bigger, right? So you've got to get the angle basically bang on, and this isn't actually quite right. This was putting some force on the air filter, and in fairness, this is kind of evidence of how well supported the air filter is.
Yes.
Otherwise, is to install this. It actually has quite a bit of just static force against it because it's slightly misaligned. We've set the incline a bit wrong, and even to just hold it together. Like, you can feel the resistance on it because the air filter is held in place that firmly on the car already.
Yeah.
So yeah, if you try to make it larger, so that it has, like more stabilization. Why did I struggle so much to find that weird? Yeah. So if you make the thing,
it's 10:30.
Yeah, great, that'll do it. So yeah, if you try to make it larger to provide more stabilization, it gets more dimensionally sensitive. And actually, I'm pretty sure that's what broke it.
Probably. There is, in the back of my mind, I keep thinking, but why do we need an air filter bracket? Because it's so well done. I'm like, no, because it's going to rub and what against.
But as I said, you
could
literally just wrap foam around the stay, and I think would be okay.
Yeah, we could just foam wrap it, in theory. At least until we've worked out a better solution for this.
YouTube, every time I hover over the chat, I seem to keep dropping my mouse cursor on the little donate button. It says, show your support for PedalBox. I support PedalBox plenty. Thank you very much. You don't.
Yeah.
Talking to you.
So how can they support PedalBox?
They can go to shop.pedalbox.show and buy some fancy merch. Hey, that doesn't need to be on an outro.
That's a good point.
Or you can go to patreon.com/PedalBox Show and support us from as little as $1
directly through.
But yeah, that's... I have questioned a few times because it's been so long without that in place.
And it's just
everything
fine.
just jubilee clamped together and it's held perfectly fine. I keep asking myself, do I really need to bother fixing this? And eventually I come back to yes, because it needs to not rub on the roll cage.
I wonder if you could get away with something that's literally just like a quarter of this, and it's basically just a band, just to enforce the separation. And it's not like really trying to hold the whole thing in place and constrain it. It's just stopping it from being able to translate. Whereas this is because of the length of it. It's not only stopping the air filter from translating that way, it's also stopping it from rotating at all. Which it doesn't need to do.
Which it doesn't need to do at all.
Because it's on it's on an air hose. The shop.page still has the cake off on it. Amazing. Do you have access? Of course you have access to the shop. It's probably the thing that you.
Does it have the cake off on it?
Yeah.
Well, I mean,
sorry. In the in the
shop dot.
In the menu at the top, yes, it does.
Is it easier to
cake on the menu?
Is it easier to remove it from the menu or just have another cake off?
It's definitely easier to remove it from the menu, but it's a lot less fun.
It's a lot less fun. Yeah,
More
2021 we did that. We should probably do that again.
That was a while ago, wasn't it? When was it that we had Laurie round? Laurie, sorry, I always mispronounce his
2021.
name.
That was the cake off.
Oh, of course,
that was the cake off. Yeah, what I actually need to do is rebuild the entirety of that website, which isn't hard because it's all just a Wix website page.
I do find it, right, we've all heard the phrase a busman's holiday.
Yeah.
I'm a professional web dev, or was. Now I've put the code down. Now I exclusively work with crayons because I'm an architect these days. I'm above code.
Whiteboards.
These fingers don't write code.
Yeah, but like when we put that site up, I was a professional web developer, and like the number of times I sat down and tried to make a website for PedalBox, and I just blanked. I just could not do it for some reason. It's literally my job. Yeah. Why couldn't I do it?
The thing
Which is why we've ended up with like...
There's a difference between being a website developer and a website designer.
Yeah, to be fair, a lack of design skill was...
What we actually needed was a designer who wasn't super hyper critical like I was of everything that I did, who would just make something work. Please, just do it.
Apparently there's no mugs on the site.
Oh, they were...
Was there a supplier problem? We have had some supplier problems.
I got a bunch of these made and we mailed them out from here.
Oh.
And there is an option for them to be on the Wix... not the Wix backend, it's
not Shopify, is it? I can't remember.
It's not Shopify. It's one of those, though. It's... I want to say Printful?
That sounds about right. Printful rings a bell.
Yeah, Printful was one... Yeah, I think it is. Because, there's my dashboard.
Because for a while we were actually doing it, we were actually doing it, not like physically printing the shirts, but there's a shop around the corner here.
Yeah, we got
by
made
PedalBox Labs that would actually do the printing and everything.
Yeah, which was great.
Would we source the shirts and give them? Whatever.
Yeah, we
were shipping and everything ourselves.
And the biggest problem we had with they couldn't do gradients, so they were transfer on. They didn't do direct to garment printing, which was a bit unfortunate because that's really what we needed. Because I found
there's some designs you wanted to do that needed the ability to like
we needed much finer stuff, much finer like for lining like the fleet shirt, which has all the outlines of the cars on. So that was going to be a lot more work.
I need to buy one of those.
And there was so many little bits and pieces that it just didn't work for, and DTG was so much easier to work with, and they couldn't do it. So we had to go to somebody else to get the DTG done, which was fine. But then in order to get it at a reasonable price per unit, you have to put in 200, 300, 400 quid into a bunch of shirts, even if it's 2 designs. If you can find somebody who will do you a bulk price of 20 shirts, but not all the same design, which is rare, but to do 10 and 10, and then in a range of sizes, you're having to gamble on what you need. So we get like half of them in XL, a couple of 2Xs, a couple of L, an M, and we've still got a box of shirts that are unsold.
Yeah.
That people just haven't bought because they're now the odd sizes, because we needed some for ourselves, so we obviously took a couple out ourselves and whatnot, and you get to that point of having all of this money tied up in shirts is unhelpful.
Yeah.
when we could be putting it into the car.
Yeah.
Or indeed anything else.
Even though obviously when a shirt sells, you know,
yeah.
obviously we have a markup, otherwise why would we be doing it?
Yes.
But like, yeah, the money, as I said, it's the fact that it sits tied up for so long.
Yeah, it's all well if you have a decent turnover of shirts, or you do it like Freiburger does.
You pre-order, you pre-commit.
You say I am putting this on up for sale for 2 weeks. You get that number in, you round it up so you have some spares just in case, and then you send it. You get them printed and dispatched by the printer. Your overheads are massively lower.
Yeah.
Your return, because you're doing a massive order, is significantly better per shirt.
I do remember there was a T-shirt we sold a while ago that I think you said we made 20p on. It was a particular T-shirt order. It wasn't a line of T-shirts or anything. It was one certain order.
It was it 90p or something like that? It was one.
I thought it was 20.
It was the one for your dad.
Yeah, my dad bought a PedalBox T-shirt.
And
he used his Patreon discount code.
No, it wasn't.
No,
I was
else?
testing the. It was essentially the Patreon discount, but I got him to use the discount code that I set up for going to duct tape. So I was like, "Can you make sure that this works? Order it with this." And it was like a 10% discount. And by the time I'd done all of the things and gone through everything, the way that Printful lets you price things is X VAT. Sorry.
Oh.
But the way that it sells you the cost of them is then plus VAT.
Yeah.
So there's
if we thought we made 20%.
So there's a hidden 20% that basically just got eaten by terrible UI design.
Yeah.
So I then had to go and reformat everything through, and it was just horrendous.
So the long and short of it is, if you want to support us by giving us, if you want us to have money to buy things for the cars, Patreon.
Yes.
If you want to wear our badge, by all means, get the t-shirts.
By all means, do that. Yeah, that's fine. So on Printful does have mugs.
Yeah.
And I think I was trying to replicate this, which has the orange rim and the orange handle, or the blue rim and the blue handle, one way or the other.
Around, yeah.
It'd be perfect. And I cannot remember why I stopped that process. White glossy mug.
You turned round and did literally anything else.
Literally anything else.
And then that was it.
Welcome to merchandise R&D with PedalBox. Let's just see what the options are, shall we?
Are we about to witness the relaunch of a fan favourite on live on stream?
Vaguely. I don't have the fun is better than good graphic uploaded for anything.
Oh, raging.
It was on. I can't remember.
To be fair, Weld Found Grind Repeat is pretty good. That could definitely be.
Oh yeah, that will be a mug at some point. No, I'd have
actually.
to. Like...
I wonder, could you get away with like weld and frown and grind and repeat like around?
Yes. So you print it as an edge to it. So you basically upload a picture that goes from here all the way around the mug to here.
Yeah.
So you could do weld and frown and grind and repeat and weld and frown and grind and repeat and just like go all the way and print the whole mug with like an orange band and a blue band, and it would work well enough. Fine.
Just angrily firing up Photoshop right now.
I guess you can give me money for things.
Yeah, I think Jess wants us to end the stream. I'm seeing the tangent counter is on and slowly ticking.
Yeah, I probably shouldn't actually bother starting doing
it came on about 40 minutes ago.
But
but I was too busy with tangents to notice the tangent counter.
Yes, I will sort out mugs in the before the next live stream.
Are we still saying where you can buy these snazzy mugs at the end of every episode and
probably
just not selling them?
Yeah, probably. The problem is, of all the merch that we can put on in the winter when we're not wearing like these t-shirts, the mug is the easiest thing to pick up. They are absolutely there. They're not. The new sticker is
we do
also
need like proper sized PedalBox mugs though.
The new sticker is also not on the website yet, which is the Build, Race, Break, Repeat, which I have handed over to an engineer at Williams F1.
Nice.
I handed him a stack.
I want to see that on the car.
Yes.
Did he give it to Colour Pinto?
On the way out to the Las Vegas Grand Prix, we happened to be on the same flight. And in the immigration line, not just that, the guy that I was talking to used to work with Chris.
Nope. Knew a colleague of mine at Neo when I was in Formula
E. Okay, fair enough, right. But we attended the same party.
We went to a party,
yeah, where they were all there.
I seem to remember we tried karaoke, like the whole room tried karaokeing to Sweet Caroline, and granted, it probably would have been the same if we were sober, but we were all so shit-faced that the only lyric we remembered was ba ba ba, nothing else.
Yeah. Pretty much. But yeah, the Only Cams t-shirt is on there still, and the hoodie is on there as well, and the Build Break Race Repeat t-shirt, which I haven't actually had printed up for myself yet, and the Autoholics Anonymous t-shirt.
I do love Autoholics Anonymous.
One exists currently,
nice.
and
I
Maffey has
remain
it.
proud of coining that name.
Yes.
I'm pleased with that. It's my legacy.
I'm not going to lie. So we've discovered there's a great difficulty with finding the channel now, because a lot of people that make pedal boxes, that is little computers that sit in the system and basically remap
you put
the
them in
car
the car
and
to
stuff.
like change the throttle pedal curve. Yeah.
Lots and lots of people who make those have been dumping money into adverts, presumably because when you go on YouTube and search PedalBox, two idiots appear, not their product. So we had it made for a while.
Yeah.
Now, if you want to find the channel, you need to search PedalBox Show, and to a lesser extent, PedalBox
in
Garage.
fairness, right? Let's be fair. No one is going to be like spontaneously searching. I wonder if there is a show out there called PedalBox. Like, no one's going to organically stumble into us by that name.
The problem I have seriously thought, could we change it to Autoholics? Autoholics Anonymous. We could, and then I looked around. There are a couple of other channels also using the phrase Autoholics Anonymous, which have started up in various times.
Because the origin of Autoholics is not recent. Like this was a name I gave to a group chat we had on Facebook. Like, this was when I was in the marketing company when I worked in Marlow.
Yeah.
Right. So that would have been like 2017, tail end of 2016, early 2017.
Yeah, 17, give or take.
Like, this is before I was even in motorsport, I think. We had Autoholics Anonymous.
Yes.
It's as old as PedalBox.
It goes back a long, long way.
Yeah.
And it was one of the things that we thought about calling the channel at the start. And I thought, I don't want to do that because
that was like a friend group thing.
litany of reasons, including that. I don't want to just like appropriate that in, but it's a really good name. So yeah, that was why we didn't go with that, and I kind of regret it now that somebody's dumped, or many people have dumped so much money into crushing our recognizability on the primary platform we're supposed to be able to be found on. But
in
never
fairness,
mind.
the way everything is played out, two things are true. One, it's not like we rely on PedalBox for an income.
True.
Two, it's a fucking good thing we don't rely on PedalBox for an income.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah. So
demonetized.
So yeah, that is pretty much the rub with that. But never mind. I don't think at this point we could easily rebrand it, even sensibly, to PedalBox Autoholics Anonymous.
I mean, that's just too much.
It would just, it would be a nightmare. PedalBox Show. I'm probably going to end up changing the name of the channel to PedalBox Show, just so that it aligns with the tag PedalBox Show, so it can be found.
Welcome to our monthly management meeting.
Yes, yeah, basically that. So that will happen at some point. Nothing. Fix. What did I just miss?
Well, I'm guessing it's related to the Thirst for Knowledge.
Yes. So yeah, that may happen at some point, but that's just a piece of admin I can't be bothered to deal with right now. But I do need to address the fact that we are becoming more and more unfindable.
Do we need to address it? Like,
it'd be nice.
Does it actually matter?
It'd be nice.
Yeah.
It'd be nice to get a little bit more reach.
If people are searching for PedalBox on YouTube because they know us, they'll find us because we're like two pages down or something. It's not the end of the world. And people who are looking
it is way worse than that.
Yeah. But people who are looking for like accelerator pedal remappers will actually get the thing they want.
The last time that I looked, it was on desktop. It was 5 or 6 pages down.
Yeah, brutal.
That's how bad it was.
Tangent Box Anonymous.
Yeah, Tangent Box. So yeah, that's it is problematic. I don't know how to fix it conclusively, but oh well, never mind.
Simply import a shitload of cheap tat from Alibaba, flog it as a primo German tuning product for VAG automobiles, and just pump all of the infinite money that you scam people out of into YouTube ads.
Yeah, basically
just like all the PedalBox companies do.
Yeah, pretty much. So never mind. Right. Thank you very much for joining us. Remember, I mean, how you'd have possibly found us other than by Chris pimping us into something else. But if you haven't already subscribed, do like the video, because why not? It helps. I also haven't liked it. Now I have. I was going to say, let us know what you think in the comments. You've been leaving comments
literally
throughout.
all the stream
That's
is.
all
This
the
isn't
chat
an
is.
episode, mate. Yeah.
I think I'm starting to lose it as well.
Starting. I think we both lost it like 7 years ago.
I mean, from a baseline of when this chat started.
Okay, fair enough. Yeah, if you calibrate to that very low reference point, sure.
Yes, yeah. There's been a lot of collapse. This is just the latest stage of collapse. So yeah, hopefully we'll do this again in a few more weeks once we are all back together yet again.
What's the current ETA? It's 3 weeks, I think, is our guess for next.
So Jess
next
was
year,
next available around the 29th of March from memory. So that was when we were going to aim for, which is 5 weekends from now, including this week. So there's
5 weekends.
3 weekends gap. And then the next one, so it's it's 4 weeks. It's 5 weeks from now, 4 weekends from now.
Right. Okay.
So semantics.
It'll be a little while.
Yeah, pretty much. But hopefully we'll have more stuff in the meantime. I also intend to get a load of the road trips done so we can start getting through them. Yeah. I've got some more.
I realise
bad influence videos that we need to do because I now have a selection of things to record. I should really get on those.
Yeah, I realise
I've said really well.
I've said this a lot of times. So whether I mean it this time any more than the last is anyone's guess. I would like to resume work on the SD1. We had a massive sprint working on it last summer to try and slam it together, ready to drive it down to Italy for a wedding. I think I've mentioned this a few times on last streams, which we didn't manage. And I think I kind of burned out on it, but I've started poking away at it again in the last few weeks, despite the weather. So, yeah, I don't know. Hope maybe we'll have a bit more rover stuff.
If we ignore the 4 shorts in the analytics of the most popular videos all the way down from the last 365 days, it goes Bad Influence, the GTO, at nearly 3,000.
Analytics with PedalBox.
Followed by episode 2 of me starting to make a 00 gauge model railway, which I had to shelve because it was diverging so much of the traffic and confusing the algorithm. I had to just put that on hold. Unfortunately, I haven't removed the videos because they were doing quite well for views. And watch time, and they were keeping us in the monetized section. So I need to fork them onto their own channel. But that is the second most watched video of us. Something that came out January 2022, most watched video of 2024. After that, then 2 shorts, then the Porsche 944 airbox and exhaust. Then the MX-5
None of
Turbo,
it is the Murder Wagon or the Lexus.
2 more shorts, then the SD1 Will It Make It to Italy video.
No, it won't.
Then installing the OBD2 port on the Golf.
Did we know it wouldn't make it to Italy by the time that episode went out? I can't remember if that went out pre or post wedding.
It went out post.
So you could have. Right.
Barely. So yeah. So let's see. 1, 2. Before we go, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Actually, the 11th most watched video of last year was the urethane exhaust mounts one, which only barely went out.
Kind of a nothing episode, that one.
Yeah. And then Racing
Why couldn't there be
Aspiration.
something interesting, like when we built suspension or something?
Racing Aspirations suspension calculator is 12. Duct tape drags 2023 is 13. All the iterative.
This is an interesting way to wrap
stuff,
up an episode, to wrap up a stream.
Yeah, basically anything that's not the Lotsus is the most popular thing. But I think by the time we rename it from the Audi TT kit car to the Lotsus, hopefully that will get more people not searching for it, but seeing it and going, well, what the hell is that?
I don't think so.
It's an attempt.
Yeah.
An attempt was made. So, yeah, more GTO and smart car videos. There'll be more GTO videos for sure. Smart car videos, I mean, that's kind of on you, Aid, because it's a good hour and a half away from me. Feel free to bring it up, though. We can do more videos on that.
I mean, I'm not here every weekend.
Yeah, you could fill in the gap.
Usually is.
Usually, yeah.
Usually. When you're not in America, gallivanting.
I was going to say, I have a reputation with my dentist of just not being in the country.
It's not very smart.
That's not very smart. Right. Thanks very much for watching, everybody. Thank you, Jess, for sitting and doing all of the tech once again, and operating wireless cam and cat cam and all of the tech. We will see you hopefully in 4 weeks, 5 weeks time, I guess. Yeah, 5 weeks time.
Whatever it ends up being, yeah.
We'll see you then. Thanks very much. Bye.